just write down one thing.
Stand by.
Exactly. And we're live. All right, awesome, guys. We are partying over here. Welcome to Miami Poppy in the house. Soscast episode 39. Sick show for you guys today. Special guests, special people. We got some big, strong people. We got some beautiful people. We got some sexy ladies. But the theme of the show today, and I want you guys to comment what you guys think about this question, because this is going to be the overall theme of today, is have you ever heard this concept or the slogan that behind every successful man is a woman? Mm-hmm. So we're going to get deep into that. Okay. Last episode, got to give a shout out to the ladies here last time. We talked about, should women be a housewife? Should they be independent women? Natalia, things got pretty heated on that one.
Hot in there.
Okay. By the way, 90% of the chat, great show. What's Natalia's number? That was what's happening. Yeah. 2,000 comments.
She got some big brothers. She got
exactly. So if this is your first time tuning into the Soscast on Tainment, the number one channel on the planet for entrepreneurs. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Thank you. But on the Soscast here this is where money and relationships meet. People say, like, what does money have to do with relationships? Well, everything. Hello, what are we talking about here? So behind every successful man is a woman. We're going to have that conversation. But, we did the math. Matt, we're going to get into this. Okay. 95% of our audience is men. I didn't know that. I thought it was like 80%. So dudes love Tainment. Dudes also like pretty women. They also like big, strong guys with muscles. So, guys, we're here for you. We want to get you paid. We want to get you laid. And we want to help you do it your way. That's kind of what we're going for here. So,
tagline, man.
Welcome to Tainment. Let me go through. Here's our guest today so you guys understand who we're working with, and then we'll set the tone of this conversation. So, in the house, money smart guy Matt Sapala just flew in from Dallas, did a photo modeling shoot, got in the bathroom looking great. But entrepreneur, millionaire, multi-millionaire. I mean, I see the numbers the numbers are insane. I'll let you introduce yourself about that. CDO of PHP, major insurance company that you guys I'm sure are familiar with. Creator of the 7-Figure Squad, sick YouTube talking about money, Bible-based stuff as well. That's been a successful hit. But more importantly, husband, father, veteran, leader, and PBD protege. I said, let me just throw that in there.
Put it out there.
And little known fact, The Rock's younger cousin. They don't even know that.
I'm the Walmart Target version.
You guys are going to get real familiar with Matt Sapala today. To his left, Derek Thomas.
Yes.
We met 2 weeks ago at the CME, the Conference for Masculine Excellence. He's got a brother, O'Neill, who's bigger and better looking, but somehow we got you, bro. I don't know. How'd that happen?
Shout out to Rolo Tomasi.
Exactly.
I spoke with Rolo wanted me here, and I thank you. Thank you for having me on the show and whatnot.
Yeah, and you do. You're also a veteran, Army veteran.
Yes, Army.
Like one of the most shredded dudes on social media. We might have to pop off a button or two. I don't know.
we might have to.
But shout out to Rolo because the red pill energy is strong on this one.
It is.
But last but not least, certainly ladies comes first, but she's closest to me. We'll go this way. Sure. Yorita P. No last name, just Yorita P.
Well, actually, let me correct you. It should be Yori Hex.
Yori
I've
Hex.
changed it. Yes.
Full on. You've changed your name.
On. Since now
guys, we've got a name change here.
Yes. I'm a full-on Hexagon now, so I have to represent.
Okay.
I'm
so she's big into crypto.
She's
big into crypto. She's from Albania, by the way.
Oh, no kidding.
Albanians and Germans are getting along these days. That's another side note right there.
They always did, actually.
She talks crypto, holistic healing, and you talk having a successful mindset, being a woman with successful mindset. So, and then last but not least, we got to give a shout out to the ones and twos, Natalia Del Valle, everyone's favorite, I almost said famous, but favorite newest team member here at Tainment.
Yes.
She crushed it yesterday on the special podcast that we did about Amber Heard, Johnny Depp.
You did kill it.
She might have taken Amber's side. I was taking Johnny's side. It was a great, if you haven't seen that episode, Soscast 38, But enough about you, Natalia. Stop making it about you.
Sorry.
Today's about Matt, Derek, and Eureka Hex.
Yes.
So the question is this. By the way, if you've not subscribed to Valuetainment, do so. But this is Valuetainment money.
Yes,
Subscribe, smash, go have sex with a like button. Whatever you want to go do.
Real quick.
But real quick, make it a quickie. But the topic is this. So behind every successful man is a woman. So that's the topic of the day. So what I want to do is real quick, just get your when you hear me say that, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Mr. Sapala, go ahead first.
Yes, 100% yes. I've been on both sides. I've been married, divorced, and remarried again. And I got married when I was a little bit older in life, more mature, and a little bit more financially ahead. Whereas before I was in the military, I was in the Marine Corps. You know military weddings?
Yeah, I do.
Right?
I do.
Military weddings, you get married because we make extra money. And
When you get married.
You get off base. And that money had a lot to do with getting married.
That BAH.
Really?
Especially when you're broke. You know, because you would shack up together and get BAH
increase.
And so I didn't realize that a woman in your life, in my young 20ness, was all about 80-90% sex. Okay, I'll admit that. But the more I realized, shit, I got to wake up with this person, I got to deal with this person. Oh, had a kid. I got to deal with this person. Oh, values and principles are starting to come out. Oh, the way you were raised is different than I was raised. Oh, the way we handle money is different. Damn. So in 1 year, Saucy, I got married, came back from the deployment.
Yep.
I got married, divorced, had a kid, filed bankruptcy. It was my motivational year of change.
That was in 1 year.
1 year.
That was how long ago?
Military.
That was how long ago?
1995, 1996.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Lifetime ago.
Yeah, it's all documented. It's Orange
All
County,
documented.
California. You can see all there. And 14 years after that, I just went into complete. Let me just figure myself out.
Gotcha. So Matt's answer is definitely yes.
Definitely yes.
Okay, if it's the right woman though.
It's the right woman.
Clearly. All right. So there's a
Yes.
caveat there.
Correct.
Derek, do you have a different opinion on this? Because you don't have a relationship right now. What's your status? What are your thoughts on this?
I'm single. I'm single. My opinion on this is, yes, a successful man would have a woman. In fact, some successful men have multiple women. Have multiple women. A lot of times when people hear that context, they in a way it's to. I personally believe in a way it's to kind of not give the man his full credit. In a sense, it's like, yeah, he's a successful man, but hey, he wouldn't be successful without his woman.
Yeah.
But we have to think about the fact that is most of the time that woman's with that man because he's already successful.
Ooh, like they say that a lot of time women will wait at the finish line to pick the winner.
Right.
Is that kind of what you're saying here?
Right. Or either he would have some sort of he would have some sort of drive.
Ambition.
He'd be in some sort of direction on becoming successful. So she would say, hey, I see that successful man and whatnot.
Okay. So a little bit different of an answer, caveat. So let's ask the lovely woman on the panel.
Well, first, I wanted to talk with Derek for a little bit because
Yes.
he said successful and multiple women.
Yeah.
To me, that's in a sentence that doesn't really make sense. Only because when you have multiple women or 3 women, 4 women, you are not being focused, right? And the successful, if you're not focused, you are not going to be successful. So just 2 women with a successful man, I don't know. To me, they're just confused
But
at that point.
Do you think if a man has multiple women, it gives him more value because he's able to have multiple women?
No, it depends on what we consider value, right? Like, we're not thinking that just because you have multiple women, it's value. That's not a value to have or that people should embrace.
So you have an issue with multiple women. And that's totally
I
within your right.
understand, and it's very controversial, especially with men.
No,
because,
it's not
oh my
controversial.
gosh,
It's not
if
controversial.
You don't think so? Why?
No.
Why is it not controversial?
Here's why. I've been on both sides of that too as well. I've had game. And thank God social media was not around in the 90s.
That's Sapala dropping gems.
Okay. Because I'd be answering for a lot of stuff today.
Yeah.
I mean, because today you never know when the camera's on.
Gotcha.
Or if somebody's rolling camera.
Cameras are rolling, by the way, right now.
Yeah, and cameras are rolling. I would just say, though, having multiple women creates a lot of attention elsewhere. She doesn't get 100% of you. And guess what? The opposite is true. She can have multiple guys too as well. And do you feel okay with that? And it's expensive. you have to remember what you said to this person. Oh, the worst part, when you call another woman the other woman's name.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
By the way, this reminds me exactly. There's a quote Kanye says. He goes, "I don't know what's better, getting paid or getting laid. I know when I'm focusing on one, the other's getting away."
Right.
And that's kind of what you're saying here. But you disagree, though, Derek.
Yes, I disagree. In
You
somewhat
disagree
way.
with Matt and with Kanye.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all good, man. Bring it, baby.
And with Eureka.
Well,
It's an army thing.
just to rebuttal back what Eureka was talking about. What him having multiple women, what does it really have to do with his success? Because these women aren't going to be in these offices, signing things. These women aren't going to be there saying, "Hey, you should do this or do that." So explain more on that.
No, what I'm trying to say is that when a man is focused, when they have a goal, right, they will work towards that goal. And when you are focusing on multiple things at a time, multitasking, which we think multitasking is good now, but it's actually hurting us.
Right.
Because our energy is going to multiple different streams versus where it should be focused in one. So being successful and having multiple women, that's not what I measure success with.
Okay.
Like, I really don't. So that brings me back to my answer was to, is a woman behind a man's success? To me, and then again, it's how do we define success? What does that mean to you, right? To me, a successful man, I see that on the product that they have raised, like what type of family they have raised.
Okay.
To me, that's how I measure success. Money, of course, but now I'm a millionaire myself, so it's very easy to make money.
What I thought, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the quote, behind every successful man is a woman. If you could rewrite that as a successful woman, what would you want that quote to be? Because you're a female, you're successful. What would you want that quote to be?
No, I think it's great. I just think it doesn't apply to everything, right? Of course, you have to have a woman, because if you have a strong woman, then you don't have to worry about home and your children and how your children are being raised.
But no,
Then
I want to stay right there for a second because I want to get to something. Whoever made that quote, do you think it was a man or woman that made that quote?
Probably a woman.
You think it was a woman?
Yeah, it was a
Okay,
woman.
you think it was...
But
You know what, guys?
Scent of a woman right there.
Gotcha. So, but if you as a successful woman, like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if you're like, behind every successful woman is a man who falls in line, something like that. Is there something that
falls in line, that would be like, they're I don't like that.
No,
sentence
but what
at
would
all.
you be? That's what I'm asking you. I don't have this answer. I'm not a woman.
To me, I just feel like not a lot of labeling. Just let it happen. Let them embrace their masculinity, and you make them or bring their masculinity. I mean, I'm seeing that right now with my boyfriend. He's honestly never looked better, never felt better, never doing better since he has got with me.
So
and
is that because of you?
And I'm not saying it's 100% because of me, but the focus is there, right? So when you have the same focus and you have the same goal, it's so much faster to reach it with two people, the same goal, than when we're not. So I think you help one another. It's inevitable. Like it's no other way. Either you grow or you stay steady, right? And I don't want to be with people who stay steady. I always want to grow. So you have to have somebody who always wants to grow.
Let me kind of throw some things out there. By the way, we're an hour and a half. We're going to have this conversation. So I want you guys to be chomping at the bit to weigh in. But I counted kind of 4 ways. I'm sure someone will be like, "Oh, there's a 5th way, buddy." No, I counted 4 ways that I think relationships can go. So like the husband's the boss, and the wife is kind of the partner, i.e., Jeff and Mackenzie Bezos. Well, obviously they're not together, but she's cleared a couple billion in her name now. But then you got like LeBron and Savannah James. He's the man. She's clearly the woman. And he's, he just became a billionaire, by the way, today. Breaking news.
Really?
LeBron, billionaire.
That's breaking.
We all knew it was going to happen.
First billionaire athlete.
I believe so.
Active.
Yes,
Yeah.
Active.
active. Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
And then, another couple, Barack and Michelle Obama.
Right.
You might even want to throw Donald Trump and Melania in there, right? Clearly one's the head of the household and one is there to support. Okay, so that's at number 1. Number 2, kind of like Yuri Hex is saying, is maybe the wife's got her own thing. Look at J-Lo and A-Rod, or J-Lo and a Ben Affleck, or J-Lo and a Mark Anthony. J-Lo and basically everybody that she's with.
Yeah.
You've got Will Smith and Jada Smith. Will more successful, but Jada successful in her own right. And Kim and Kanye, that's kind of a thing. And then obviously the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. So, but the woman has their own success. That's number 2. Then, very unique, but out there, the woman is the breadwinner and the guy stays at home. I have 0 case examples of that in the pop culture atmosphere, but it is a real thing. I could tell you my friends who do that, but you don't want to know my friends' name. So that's a thing. And then the last thing is the good housewife, the Allie and the Pearl that we had on last week, where their role is being focused on being the housewife. So if those are the options, and there might be a fifth, what have you, what is the ideal role for you guys? Matt, you want to take this one?
The first one is the partner. My wife is my partner. She's my partner in business. She's my partner in my life. She's a partner in her family. Every role she's a partner in. There's so many things that I've tried to make a decision on, and if I didn't defer to her. So what do you think about this scenario? What do you think? Because I'm about to do this. I don't know. Are you sure? Because I was about to go 100%. And went opposite of what I was thinking, and guess what? It saved me time, energy, and prevented me from burning some bridges.
Was that women's intuitive nature? Or is that just because she's business savvy? What do you owe that to?
I've learned to trust, coming from my mother, my sister, the women in my family. I've learned to trust a woman's discernment of being able to look at a different perspective of things. Because I know me, the guy, me, I'm the Marine
alpha male dude. Yeah,
let's kick down some doors, right?
Right.
And let's blow this up, right? Whatever, man. Let's do it. But that might get you into a lot of trouble, and there's a lot of aftermath that goes along with that. I tried looking at Sheena as a housewife, and before we got married, we were trying to establish expectations. We were dating. I said, babe, before we continue forward, I want you to know about all my garbage. I remember at Italian restaurant, we put in, the Italian restaurants, they put like a
white paper, man, you can write on it, crayons.
Yep. Clear the table, boom, boom. This is my mess. This is my garbage. Let me mark it up.
So 5 tables later, what happens?
Right? And there's my garbage. It's a mess. I'm married, divorced, bankruptcy, all this stuff.
You put it out there.
Out there. And
why? Why'd you put it out there?
Because I felt that the relationship was going really well, and I'd be heartbroken to know that if I didn't tell her right now, and I waited, and then it got so good, and I felt like if I let her down, it's over with.
Gotcha.
How long in were you in a relationship with her before you made that decision to tell her?
That was 6 months, 9 months.
Okay, but it took you some time to be like, look, here are my cards on the table.
Yeah. And then vice versa, she did. And then for 6 to 9 months, I didn't bring her around the business and bring her around the office. No, I'm dating for my personal life. And then the more I did it, listen, I really love what I'm doing. I want you involved, and you're probably gonna come out of the office anyway. And I want you to see who I'm involved with. I want you to have confidence with. And she's like, I really like what you're doing. I said, are you sure? You like insurance? You like spreadsheets? Well, I've got a degree in finance. Are you sure? Because she's competitive too. Because she played softball in college.
Yep.
And she does things that I was doing that I thought I was great at. She does a whole lot better than I do with less experience.
Like what?
Being the insurance agent. Right?
So you could be more the recruiter, and she could be more like
correct. I'm more the correct. More relationship. Gotcha. Like we'll start a conversation. She'll just get right down to the numbers.
Yeah.
When we're in the boardroom, I start with the relationship. And she like, oh man.
So you guys got a great yin yang thing going on, is what you're saying. Okay, so you're picking option 1. Respect to Sheena, by the way. If you don't know who Matt's wife is, she's a total G. Like I've seen her speak at company events. Yeah. Like nobody's paying me to say this. I'm just letting you know Sheena's a G. Derek, I gave you those options, right?
Yes.
Do you have one in mind?
What you like?
I would say the option where that puts a man in more of a leadership role. I would say option 1.
Yeah.
I believe. Puts the man in a leadership role because
where would the woman be though? Would she be like a partner to you, or would she be more a housewife to you, or?
Essentially, she's whoever you want her to be. In a sense, if you would want her to be a housewife, and she wants that role as a housewife, she'll be a housewife.
Whoever you want her to be, or whoever she wants to be.
I would say
because there's a difference there.
Whoever you want her to be, because if she doesn't want to do that or be that, then I would say the relationship is not good, because that's what you're looking for. That's what you want. If you want a housewife, you're gonna look for, hey, I want a housewife. If you want a partner, you'd be like, hey, I want you to be a partner. So either or, that man would still be in a leadership role.
Would you expect your wife to cook, clean, do the laundry, all that stuff?
If I told her,
you'd be okay with that?
Yeah, I'll be fine with that. I'll be fine with that.
I wasn't okay with that.
You were not?
No,
I was not okay with that.
Why is that?
Okay. Because I can hire people for that.
I was just about to say, it's a waste of time. Why would you want to cook? It's great for the kids because
Well, what if she wants to do that for you?
No, that's amazing if that's what she wants to do. But if it's a partner and you are actually going to do a goal together, cleaning, there's no time for that. You have to pay somebody to clean or cook or do your laundry, and that's exactly what we
Create a
did.
job.
So Yuri, what role do you see yourself of those four?
I have to correct you because you said the second, but I actually fall very much into the first.
Okay.
I left my business and kind of my life for my guy because I saw the leadership and the role that he was bringing, and that's exactly what I was looking for, right? So why would I want to waste my energy in things just to bring money into the house? So after we figured that out, well, he had figured it out, and with his help, he made me think, and kind of I agree with you that
Right.
if the guy makes it available to you, like through his leadership, it's very easy as a female to bring your femininity.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Do you think in your head that you have a mental clock, I got to get married by this age?
No, no, not at all. I think marriage is just like something that I believe in it, but it's only for the government, right? If me and my partner are doing well, like why do I need a license? Or why do I need something that solidifies what I have? I think that yes, we do have a clock as a female. I mean, I would have to have kids
Yeah.
by a certain
Biologically.
age.
Yeah.
But I don't think as far as like, I need to get married by this time. No, like
Got it.
it's natural to me. Maybe not to my family and where I come from, but to
Yeah.
me, I just think, and I've made my parents understand that to me, there's more important things than having those little labels. Like
Yep.
right now, I want to help to have a better world so my children can be in a better world.
For
Like
the
there's
record-
so many other priorities I have.
Do you have any kids?
I don't have
no
kids.
kids, and you're not
No
married.
kids.
Do you have any kids?
No.
No, and single, playing out there, and you've got what?
5 kids, 3 different. Yes.
3
Are
different
you
what?
three- are you
One
sure?
I'm married, yeah,
Baby
right?
Okay, I only know about two.
So married, divorced, had a kid with the
Yeah.
first one. Oops, with the second.
Yeah.
Got twins. Third one I'm
Twin
married
girls.
because I find myself in a pattern.
Right.
It was my
Yeah.
as I had no basis.
So the oldest is a boy.
Oldest boy, he's 26.
Okay. Jesus, Matt. Oh, he looks great for his age. I don't know how Matt's 89 years old. He looks great. You got twin girls,
21.
21, and then
JoJo's 11.
JoJo's 11. Okay, gotcha. And she was first wife was with who?
That's,
No, first wife was how many? Just the one son.
Just one. Yeah,
Okay.
correct. Second one, twins.
Second one, twins.
Right. And then 14-year sabbatical.
Yes.
And then.
Oh, then Sheena had a kid, and then you guys had a kid together.
And we had a kid together.
Okay, and that's JoJo.
That's Jordan.
That's JoJo.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah,
Jordan.
yeah.
Okay,
But she had JoJo.
Gotcha.
So she was a single
So,
mom. Yeah.
and Natalia, you got any kids anything?
No kids. just
Okay, there's a
dog.
lot of dudes out there trying to give you a baby. Hands off Natalia. But I think it's fair to say on this panel, we could add up all our experience. It wouldn't be a fraction of what Matt has with marriage and kids. Good, bad, and ugly. Real talk. But you said something like, yeah, do I want the wife to cook and clean? Like, I've had a live-in girlfriend, and she was doing that for a while, and I was like, I don't need you cooking and cleaning. Like, I like that. You're not that good of a cook.
So
I
does
love
a-
you.
So does an alpha male need an
Yeah.
alpha woman?
Well,
What is an alpha woman?
It's a good question.
What is an alpha woman?
She's
You're asking me?
Yeah.
looks like there's one right there.
Well, I don't know if I would consider myself an alpha woman if I didn't have an alpha male. Because truly, I seriously think that you can mold your relationship however you want it to be.
You can.
And if we had money, which is the root of all of our problems, then we would be at such better position where I can afford somebody to cook and clean and provide. And then I can be in my corner, be creative and reach my goal, which my goal is to spread crypto in my country. Nobody understands crypto, or they even have some challenges with the country or with the government. So I have bigger goals, you know what I mean? That to clean or cook. Yeah, it's great. I know how to do it. I can make my bed. I make my bed every day in the morning.
Derek, there's got to be something on your mind right now. I feel like you're like, go ahead. Give
Yeah,
it
I was
to
more
it.
saying in a
Yeah.
sense that with the cleaning and cooking, she wants to do that for you. I mean,
No female wants to do that. Like, come on. If a female had an option to do it,
Some
or
females
like,
do.
Some
females
females do. Some
want
female-
to.
yeah.
That's their goal. Like they're like, I'm done working. I just want to be home for
That's-
my husband.
Some
That's
females do
amazing.
that.
why
Some
would you not
females
want to
do.
feed your
No.
man?
I would
Why
love
would
to
you
feed
not-
my man,
yeah.
and I do. Of course, I'm just telling you that when you have a bigger goal in mind,
Right.
like for example, making a whole country financially free with crypto, there is better things to do and waste your time with than cleaning or cooking. And luckily, my man understands this because we have the same goal together. You know what I mean?
It's a characteristic of an alpha woman.
So
she's hooked on purpose. Yep.
No, seriously, I'm just like, I do it, and of course, I'm not expecting me to be dirty. No, I'm having a clean space, a clear mind, a clear of what I want to do, but I'm not going to waste my time just cleaning and doing my laundry. Like, it's truly a waste of time.
But majority of relationships don't operate on the way you operate. Majority of relationship isn't. I have a woman that's, a crypto mogul, and she wants to conquer.
You're saying
something.
that she's unique, and most women are not
you're
like
an
her.
exception to the rule. I would say.
I wouldn't say I'm exception to the rule at all. I'm just not at all. I'm just like any other female who is embracing her femininity.
Okay.
And luckily for me, my man is allowing that for me to happen. And same thing with him. That's why right now I'm at my prime, and that's why he's at his prime, because we're again understanding what it means to be in a committed relationship with one another, and understand what is it the goal that we want out of life, right?
So let's just establish what we think, the exception to the rules are. Natalia, you'd mentioned that a lot of women do want to kind of be more the housewife traditional role.
They're lying.
She's saying they're lying. Okay, so here it is.
They will get bored.
Everyone,
they will get bored.
I don't think they're lying.
Let's go down the line here.
Well, that's different.
What percentage of women want to be the strong, independent working woman, i.e., like you, and what percentage of women are a little more comfortable being, second place, housewife, more the family? Go ahead. Let's get some numbers. What percentage do you think?
For each? I would give housewife, I would say about maybe like 70.
I was thinking the same.
70% of women and 30% want to be more independent.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Matt, go ahead.
Wow, I have zero clue. I haven't polled. But because when I was dating those 14-year sabbatical, I had maybe had 6 relationships that lasted for 6 months. And what turned me off about them is that they weren't really, there's no drive in what they want to do as a career.
Yeah.
Because housewife, and listen, I understand because that's an act of service, and I love it when a woman comes and wants to serve her man. That's awesome. My wife does it too. She calls it DoorDash, right? But she always asks, "What do you want for dinner? What do you want for dinner?" So in a way, she's not cooking for me, but she's still
She's nourishing you, making
she's
sure.
she's taking care of it. Like the kids, like Sheena always takes care of the kids. We got to take care of this, take care of that. So she has that role. She just doesn't actually, get it. Then we have a cleaner to do it. We have a nanny to do it. We had sitters to do it, and we're doing this all before we had money.
Yeah.
I would have to say though, like when I have kids, I will for sure be a housewife, because then again, as I told you earlier, the success of me and my family will be measured of the family I raised and the children I raised, right? Like what products am I actually seeding right now? So.
But if you're leading your country with crypto.
Yeah.
If I'm doing what I'm saying?
If you're leading the inclusion of crypto into your country, let's say that happens. When that happens, yes?
That will happen. I just don't know the timing.
And you're leading it.
I don't have to lead it. That's the beautiful of crypto. You have the freedom of speech. You can do whatever you want with your crypto, and that's what I will teach to people, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
And you also mentioned that once you have children, that's when you're going to turn on the switch and become a housewife. Wouldn't you say these are traits that you have to somewhat,
grow into?
These are just definitions that we're getting stuck on, right? We're getting stuck on the housewife. Just because you're a housewife doesn't mean that you're not going to be creative or do anything. People think that just because you're a housewife, like your actually life ends. No, that's when your life begins, because you are nourishing your children. You are raising your children. Now, luckily, I have money. I will have help to make my children emotionally intelligent. So I will have them different teachers, of course I will teach them by myself. I'm not sending them to a school, that's for sure. I'll have homeschooling, but I'm going to have help. Why? Because I can afford it, right?
Right.
And this is what I'm trying to make people understand. Not only I can do it, everybody can do it. And especially nowadays, in 2022, it's super easy. You truly just have to shut up and listen to your man. That's seriously all you have to do.
Shut up and listen to your man. So that's essentially saying that let your man be a leader.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. You cannot have a strong woman if you're not going to have a strong leader. Like the rest are just pretending. Like a strong, a guy who's very strong with multiple women, he's pretending just to be liked.
Shut up and listen to your man. I want you to cook and clean, and that's all I want you to do.
Well, then that's the wrong man.
The crypto thing is not happening.
Well,
but you're the one that stated shut up and listen to your man.
No, in the sense of.
So it's
No.
if he's saying,
well,
you know what I mean?
No, you're like manipulating. You're trying to manipulate my words.
Oh.
What I'm trying to say is that sometimes, especially when it comes to finances, men know more. So that's exactly what I did. I listened to my man. I became a millionaire, and now we're enjoying the life together, living life, trying to teach people the same thing. Why? Because I was raised from an amazing father. I had a great base. Same thing with my brother, you know. And now I was able to pick the right man. Why? Because this was rooted from me since the beginning, since I was a little girl, right? So this is exactly what's happening to me. I'm just allowing being a female, my femininity is coming, and I'm just manifesting. Like, I'm seriously just manifesting stuff, and things are happening to me.
And if you don't mind me asking, what role did your mother play?
My mother never worked in her life. Then we moved to America. She worked because my dad sold everything that he had in Albania. It wasn't much, obviously. It was just a third world country. Moved to America. My mom started working, and I can tell that she's not happy working. No woman is happy really working unless you're truly doing something.
So would you say she was more happier when she was
A housewife.
A housewife then?
Well, right now she's no longer working as well, you know, like just working a little bit, trying, especially because she's into crypto as well.
All right.
She's soon
Mom's
will
even
be-
into crypto.
Yes. Bro,
She's
you have to.
soon-
What economic system is Albania? Or socialism,
no,
capitalism?
they're democratic. They're well, socialism now, if you ask me, but
Democratic socialism.
democratic socialism. Yeah, they consider themselves democratic, but again, in my eyes, they're socialist, and they don't understand that they're socialists.
They don't even know yet. Well, you know, this begs the question. We did this when I think it was Rolo and Coco, I believe. And I asked the question, is it harder to be a man or harder to be a woman?
A man, for sure.
Yeah.
And you're saying a man.
It's
you're
so easy
saying
to be a
man,
woman.
and you're saying man.
100% a man.
Man.
Dude, I totally disagree with you guys. I'll tell you why.
tell me why.
Hard
I'll
to
tell
be
you
a
why.
woman, yeah.
What you said?
I think it's hard to be a woman.
No.
I think women
Okay.
have to also
If-
they have to swallow certain things that they don't like
Like what?
accept certain if you're with a successful man, you know, a lot of the time they
But that's not true.
cheat
Again, that's what
on
you
you.
allow, what you think success is. But success is not having multiple women. Like, I'm not. Again,
That's a
I know.
part of it.
right, but
And
women have kids. Women
Yeah.
have a
Well-
time
But that's a
clock.
beautiful thing to have.
Right, but
Here,
the thing is,
let me
How
explain.
special is that?
Let me explain why. I'll open this up. Okay.
Here we go.
All three of you said men, and apparently Natalia and I
I
are
wanna
team
hear
women.
this.
Yeah.
And
I
I'll
wanna
tell
hear
you
this.
why. It's because clarity matters. To be a man, it's crystal effing clear what your job is. Get out there, compete in the marketplace, make some money, bring value. Don't be a piece of shit. Don't be lazy. Like, have resources. Get your act together. Look good.
Right.
Clarity. Women, go be a housewife. No, go be a strong, independent woman. No, go have kids. No, kind of have a part-time job. Be passionate about something. No, listen to your man. Which one is it? Women don't have clarity, and that is the biggest problem. Men have crystal clear clarity what the objective is. If you're a man and you don't get what you need to do, you're a loser, okay? And you're complaining in your mom's basement. If you're a woman and you're Jarita and you did kind of contradict yourself, because I'll tell you why. Super impressed. I'm gonna bring crypto to Albania. I'm gonna do all this.
Guys, I'm doing it. I'm not.
I
just
know
saying it.
you are.
I'm doing it currently.
Respect,
So-
exactly.
Respect.
And then after doing all that, I'm gonna shut up and listen to my man.
That's not what
You
I
did
said.
say-
No, I did
yes,
not.
yes,
You
But hold
guys
on.
are trying to twist
But
what
let me
I
finish
said.
my point, and we'll go to you. The point is this: a guy, it's run straight, just keep running.
Right.
You might have to stop on the side of the road, grab some water, but keep running. A woman, it's run, stop, have a baby, feed the baby. Nope, get back a career, get back in the car. Hold on, we got a DoorDash. Nope, you got to cook. Which one? Should I work now?
But why
There's
do
a
we do
lot
that,
of
Adam?
unclear. There's not a lot of clarity with being a woman. I'm empathizing with you. Don't argue with me.
Because it's not what you're
Trying to help
saying.
you here.
No,
But for me, the intention of this show, because again, a majority of our viewers are men, is so you can be more like Matt. You can be more like Derek. You can be more like your boy Sauce. Figure it out your life, your purpose in life, and run towards it. It's a lot harder to do that if you're a woman. Do you
Yeah, 'cause
disagree?
Women have more
Females-
options. They can be
females-
successful.
Yeah,
they can be
they do.
housewives.
Women
they
do
can
have
be
more options.
You know,
Okay.
they can be.
Let's go around the table here.
individual.
Natalia, go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Adam. I think women, because especially today, like you can find any type of woman. You can find a housewife. You can find a successful woman. You can find like really whatever you're looking for. For men, like successful in shape, you know what I mean? Provide value, leader, you know, like things like there's just one thing they're going towards, like you said. I feel like women, because we have so many options, we can get lost. And I think if you get too lost, you have a life that you regret,
Don't
essentially.
get lost in the sauce unless it's on the sauce. Matt Sapala, go ahead.
I don't think a lot of men are clear. I don't think they are. I think they're also searching. I think we're in an era right now where these economic times, the times of our country, has caused and created a lot of weak men out there.
Yeah,
they're not providing. They're not standing up for values and principles. They're not standing up as a backbone of their family and children. Things are happening to our kids where mom and dad or dad should be standing up and say, "Wait, what's going on here?" And yet they're deferring to their wives to go down to the schools to get it done. It actually should be the father going down to get it done. Listen, there's a saying there. It says, "When the man stands up, the boy sits down." I think too many boys are standing up today because they're not clear about what they're doing and what their roles are. I think there's a fogginess about what a man today is in society. A good friend of mine, Rafa Conde, he's a retired cop right around here. He runs a company called Man of War. He's spoken at his conference a couple of times. I can't tell you how many men there are just confused about what their roles in a relationship.
In a relationship or in life?
In life and with their money and their finances, you know. And I'll tell you this, there's days that I feel as a dad, as an entrepreneur, as a husband, I'm like a few days ago, I was like everything I was dealing with in terms of decisions, I had an L. I lost with my wife, I lost with my kids, I lost with the business, I lost with bad investment deals. What a wonderful day. But I still had to say, you know, I'm still a man. Here's another key element. Mother's Day and Father's Day. Who celebrates it more?
Mother's Day.
Of course. Mother's Day, you can't even get a seat.
Of course.
You can't even.
You get a handshake on Father's Day.
Father's Day. You go into a restaurant.
Thank you, Father.
Mother's Day. You got to wait 3 hours to get a seat.
Right.
And Father's Day, yeah, come on, we have a seat right here for you in the restaurant, because I think society's assumed that men know what they're doing and what their roles are. So.
Right.
So how can men get more clarity?
Who
wants to answer that?
Well, I wanted to say first,
how can men get more clarity? A woman responds.
No. I wanted to say a woman cannot be clear until she has a man directing her.
Yeah.
Really?
So this is why most females are confused, and they're trying to seek everything else from outside sources. Why? Because of money.
But if you're not clear, how do you pick the right man?
But that's your problem. You have to find yourself in order for you to be clean.
That's the first thing that you have to figure out before you pick your partner to lead you.
But that's not why females have it harder. It's because females are making it harder on themselves. Who is telling a female to be confused and not follow a man? Well, their father, clearly, because they were not raised by a good father. And then now they do not...
In society,
they cannot choose a good man.
I mean, you have society saying, like, you know,
well, then
go
you're weak.
Be successful.
Then you're weak. If you listen to society, you're weak. That's all it is. You're just not being actually the designer of your life. You're just wanting to be a follower. And that's okay. This world is not for everyone. Somebody will follow. Somebody will lead. But then don't blame the other people. Like, it's your fault.
And how men can find clarity, just to add on to that, how men can find clarity. Fortunate enough that we're in times where people could just tune in. People can tune in, listen to discussions like this. People can, you know, where information is flying, is quick. We have access. We have damn near unlimited access to it. So, you know, but my brother O'Neill, he mentioned not all lions are going to survive in the wild. Not all lions are going to eat. Not all lions are going to breed. And that falls in the same way as us as human beings. Not all men are going to have a family, start a family, be able to have kids, be able to upscale, grow, and whatnot. Adding on why I believe that men have it harder, because men have an unseen burden on what it is to be a man, in a sense. A lot of times when we take L's hard. We take L's hard. It's
publicly.
Like, publicly,
embarrassingly,
privately.
And you're not even allowed to be emotional, right? Or you're not even allowed to express yourself because you're a man and you have to like put your medicine up. So,
I mean, I would say that's what makes us men. That's because men,
100%.
we grow. I believe that we grow from adversity. We grow from adversity. We grow from taking falls, scraping our knee, whatnot. It takes me back to the time when I was a kid, riding the bike, take my training wheels off, and then I scrape my knee. Two things I could have did. Went inside, cried to my mom, I don't want this bike no more. Or I could have been like, I want to ride my bike. I want to ride my bike. I see my friends riding around my bike and whatnot. And that's what grew me, and that's what makes men tougher. From a small scrape off the bike from, hey, this chick dumped me. Either or, I still got things to get work done.
Fall 10 times, get up 11. That's what makes
I think
a
that's
man.
why men love sports so much more than women.
Yeah.
Because they're cheering for a team, rooting for a team, because they got clarity that their team's got to win. They got to score the touchdown. They got to score these points. And men love seeing other men accomplish that goal because they live vicariously through that athlete.
Camaraderie. I would say camaraderie, just like the military. Just like the military.
Yeah, because who's got deeper camaraderie, even in the military, male or female in the military?
Male.
Who's more of a fanatical disposition when it comes to sports, male or female?
Male.
Because
Who watches female sports?
No, I'm with you. I agree. I agree.
By the way, after this, I have tickets for the WNBA game after this if you guys are interested.
Name 5 WNBA stars.
I don't. Well, all I know is LeBron, NBA, right?
NBA, not WNBA.
WNBA stars, sorry.
Anyway, no, you're right.
Brittany Griner, who's
It's not
trapped in
this is why I
Russia
don't
right now.
introduce because I'm like, no, I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so let's get back to this part of clarity because I still think that. Okay, how about this? Men may lack clarity, but we know what they need to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, get a career, make some freaking money, add value, get in shape, look like Derek if you can, or Matt, I don't know. And, have some frame, as they call it, right? What Rolo talks about. It's clear what you got to do. We just did this at the CME. Make muscles, make money, have frame. Boom, you know what you got to do. It's still very unclear what a woman has to do, though.
Follow a guy, a man. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's so easy.
But
But
like,
women-
like Derek said, if your
Follow
man
your
said,
But let me circle back
okay,
to
do
something.
this, and you say no.
Please, let her finish that point.
But if you say follow a man and your man's telling you quit what you're doing, work, I want you to be a housewife.
Now, that's
And
okay.
But you're following
and that's
your
okay.
man.
You follow your man because that sometimes your man knows best. If my man tells me and will tell me like how he will provide for everything else, how he will fulfill what I have, then that is okay. You do what your man says.
Yuri, I have to ask you a very
That's
specific
exactly-
question. When you say follow your man, you're not married.
I'm not married.
Are you? There's a big difference between following your husband versus following a boyfriend.
It's very wise of you, Adam.
Thank you. Well, because I've been a husband for like a hot minute, but I've mostly been a good boyfriend. Shout out to the ladies out there. So when do you say, all right, I've only been dating this guy for 6 months, a year. I'm not.
I'll tell you
I'm not
when.
following his lead. I just met this guy.
No, I'll tell you.
Obviously, when you get married, I can see that. But
Not
if you're dating,
necessarily.
when does it happen?
If you want to have children with that guy or with that female, they're there for you, because you know how your children will be raised. And that's how I know the guy is for me and not for him, We are compatible with each other. We have the same views. We have the same values as well, like how we want to raise our children. And we have chosen consciously to do that with one another. So
But how long did that take?
Well, mine was
You're not doing that in
amazing
week
because
one.
for
You're
me
not
it
doing
was
that
with-
in month one.
Well, for him,
And if you are, that's problematic for anyone out there.
Yeah.
If you're willing to just sacrifice your entire life of someone you met for a week or a month, it took
Guys-
Matt 6 to 9 months to draw out the paperwork, right?
it all comes back
On the
to
Italian
how,
restaurant.
It all comes back to how clear you are and what your goals are, right? Like there is a time and an age where you just know. Like the older I get, the more I think about how I'm going to raise my children. Although I don't have any children right now, this is what I have to worry about because do I want to bring children in the world that we live in today? Well, it's questionable. I don't know if I want to bring children to these days now.
Yeah, but
it's
people
not
have been
as
saying
horrible
that
as
for
I'm making it
decades, for
sound.
thousands of years.
True, but again,
Have sex long enough, you will.
again, we're keeping distracted just by doing different things and not focusing on your main goal. So
Okay.
right now, I don't have time to play around with, like just sleeping with guys or no, I don't have time doing that. And my partner doesn't have time doing that either. And why do I know that? Because we share the same values and we share the same goals.
Respect.
And we are working towards it. So that's why it doesn't really matter if you're married or not. Again, these are just labels. If you respect them and you know that you can have children with that person, then they are for you 100% because
Fair
you
enough.
can choose for your children. Like
Let me throw this quote out there, and I'm mad at this is going to be towards you, and then I'm going to kind of go down the line here. We've said multiple times, men lead, women follow. Any objections to that?
No objection.
Okay, look at us. Matt,
Yes.
your wife is your business partner.
Yes.
You've talked about that.
Yeah.
Sheena. So let's get into that a little bit. So when your wife is your business partner, how do you manage the wife side of things versus the business side of things? Like, how does the marriage work and the business work, Explain that.
So there's 4 or 5 major tasks at our level that has to get done no matter what. Actually 5. She takes 2, I take 2. We overlap on 1.
Okay.
So she has her role. And if you go to our office, she's got one side of the office all the way down the hallway is then my outside office. So there's space, right?
Okay. So what are those 5 things?
I'm in charge of recruitment and leadership development.
On the business, you're saying?
On business side of things.
Okay.
I'm in charge of making sure that the marketing side of things are flowing, and she's in charge of the one. So I'm the one to many, and she's got a lot of the one-to-one goals because that's what she excels in. So she's a better life insurance agent than I ever was, and she's a better one-on-one mentor to a lot of people. I tend to mentor in small groups or large audiences. Sheena gets really nervous when it comes to that. Like if she, I wanted her to come into the podcast. She was like, I can't do the podcast.
Really?
Like she freaks out.
But I've heard her speak before. She's
I know.
Very good.
You should see what she has to do in the backstage just to get ready for that talk. She's so nervous.
Really?
Yeah. Even for a Zoom.
So it doesn't come natural.
It doesn't come natural.
But when she's on, it doesn't
crazy.
seem like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys each have your roles. What's the one that overlaps?
Onboarding new associates.
Okay.
So because we want to make sure they get both sides of our culture. If anybody needs help, we overlap on that area. She's busy, and I'm not, and we overlap there.
But so that's on the business side of things. But the question was, how do you make the business and the marriage work? Because if you were just business partners, cool, great, awesome. But now you got to go home with that person.
So here it is.
So how does that work?
Sometimes in a business, because we're partners, she wants to talk to me like she's right. She's like tell me what to do.
Okay.
Right? Like, babe, listen.
Your eyes just got real wide right now.
What's up? Hey, I ain't one of these associates.
I ain't that dude, baby. I ain't that dude, baby.
Not today.
Yeah.
Right? And so I said, hey, sweetheart, you got 2 options here. You want to talk to the fool in me? You'll get the fool. You want to talk to the king in me? You'll get the king. What do you want?
You say this to her.
I say that to her.
Wow. Please say that again. And audience, listen up here. You say this to your wife. Say it again.
At this very moment, you want to talk to the fool in me? You'll get the fool. You want to talk to the king in me? You'll get the king. What do you want?
I want the king.
There you go. There you go. So
yes, I do.
So let's go ahead and rephrase that question.
Yes. You say this.
Let's rephrase that question.
Okay.
Because like you're saying, because men, we tend to take L's. And the people we take the most amount of sensitivity to is the woman closest to our heart.
Of course.
Next to our spirit. Like we can take an L from some troll or some competitor, whatever the case may be. But for my wife, my girl, if she says something, that has a potential. It's catastrophic.
Yeah.
Because she's so close to my heart.
Of course.
But to make it work, you just have to have some clear expectations and draw the line. If we got to deal with something, listen, we're not going to talk about it at work. We're not going to talk about it in front of our associates in the boardroom. We'll talk about it at lunch when we go to lunch together. We'll talk about it when we get home, when we have a break throughout the day.
What does she ever say to you and says, all right, buddy, you want to talk to the fool in me? You want to talk to the queen in me? Like, does she come back and hit you with the taste of your own medicine if you talk to her?
She says time out.
What does she say?
She goes, that's it, time out. I'm like, that's her safe word.
Gotcha. Time out.
Time out. I'm like,
for me, it's pineapple, but okay. But safe word.
The thing is, I want to add on is the leadership qualities that you show with your wife. She's going to be responsive with them due to the fact, entrepreneur, businessman, no matter how it is. But when she shows you her,
her moxie,
I guess you could say, it's more like, hey,
slow down,
calm down. So that's at that point, we could say it could somewhat be a conflict.
It sure is.
It could be somewhere a conflict. So you going into a business partnership with your wife could be pretty.
It's hairy.
It could be.
We make the saying that we've been married for 7 years, in business for 8. So in other words, we have 21 years of arguments under our belt because we're together every day. So we just compressed time frames. We've had the arguments that people married for 20 years have had in 8 years of being together running a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, you're in crypto. Is your boyfriend also in crypto?
Yeah, he's also.
Do you guys work together?
We do work together.
So how does that work?
It works great. I know what he's good at. He knows what I'm good at, and the same thing with us. We have the same common goal as well: onboarding people.
So when Matt says like, "This is how," because Matt, how long you been with your boyfriend, by the way?
7 months.
Okay, so it's very new.
Very new.
This is 20 years, packaged up. So when Matt says, look, there's rules, there's king, there's queens, there's fools, there's this, what are you taking from that? Are you like, oh, that's a good point. I got to use that in my relationship and in my business. How does that work for you?
It works great because, again, I listen to people like Matt, and, I have those as type of my mentors. because they clearly know how it's done. They've been doing it for so long. So of course I'm going to learn from them and listen to what they're saying. Actually,
Is it wife first, then business partner? Yeah. Is it business partner first, then wife? Is it 50-50? How does it work? Wife first.
Because we leave the office, we leave the business at home, but I sleep with you.
Yeah.
I have sex with you. You know.
Yeah. You don't have sex with the business anymore.
We have different ways to screw it.
Okay. And for you, how does that work?
It works pretty well. I mean,
first,
we work together.
Then business partner, or
boyfriend first, because everything. I mean, it started from being a boyfriend, girlfriend, and then the rest.
And you think that's the best approach? Wife first, business partner, because that's the most.
Just being able to have honor. And then if there's one that breaks those rules, it's me over Sheena. I'm worse at it because I'm just like, you know, you know Sheena's person. She's a little bit more calm, more structured. You know, she's more
kind of stoic with it.
Yeah, correct. Me,
yeah.
You know, and that sometimes is the detriment of me. And
why?
Sometimes
Why is that a detriment?
Because sometimes I say things I regret. Right.
In business, in life, to her?
To her.
Like, would you reveal what do you mean?
You know.
You don't have to say exactly, but like, what do you mean like you regret?
Things that, because it's such a knee-jerk reaction to me. Because she is so close to me and I'm so sensitive to her, sometimes I knee-jerk reaction to her more readily, sometimes than an associate or partner or Patrick at the office. I won't knee-jerk Patrick. I'll think about what I have to say to him. Sometimes, to my detriment, I'll knee-jerk reaction to my wife, and she doesn't deserve it.
And then walk us through that. I feel like I'm just going to make that. Shut up, babe, I'm busy.
Yeah, that's why she says time out.
She's like, hold on.
You're crossing the line.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
And how often do you get put in time out?
All the time. All the time.
But it's important to have that dialogue where it's like, cool, that's the safe word. Time out. Okay, let's regroup. Yeah. And does that automatically trigger like a Pavlovian response? Okay, time out means act on your better behavior.
Yeah, right? And right away she started doing that, and I'm like thinking to myself right away, I'm like, damn, what an asshole you are.
So when timeout comes up, you know that you.
And I started thinking about my daughters. I started thinking about my mom because I would never talk to my mom that way. I'd never talk to my daughters that way. She's actually reminded me of that. I've heard you get some intense conversations. I got 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, I got to talk about dress and attire and, you know, going on. They just turned 21. I said, this is what you handle it going on.
They might even have their first drink this weekend.
Well, we did officially a couple weeks ago. You're right.
Well, it seems like you're handling it the right way. So respect to you,
Work in progress.
I want to get to Derek now.
Yes.
Because your brother is your business partner, right?
Yeah, he is.
So it's family, it's
business
it's your business partner.
Yeah.
I said at the beginning, he's bigger and stronger than you. I don't know. I'm not trying to cause a fight.
You're gonna make
but
us
you
arm
guys
wrestle.
should definitely arm wrestle.
You're gonna make us arm wrestle after this.
But okay, so that's your brother.
Let me see these guns right to the shirt.
I've done an interview with him, and exactly.
I do a couple push-ups. Wake up in the morning, push-ups.
Okay, so
yes,
is it fair to say you do pretty well with the ladies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true ladies man. Don't reveal your hand. But your brother's your business partner.
He is.
Now, if you met a girl, a baddie, fine ass girl, she's in your life now.
Yeah.
How do you manage that with a serious relationship, with your brother, with your business partner? Can it get weird? Does your brother have a girlfriend? Like, how does that all work?
Honestly, I don't think it can get. I don't think it would get weird because, like the initial topic, successful man. I believe a successful man has balance in his life. Mm-hmm. He has balance. He's able to control business work, relationship work, family work, and different. He's able to balance everything. So, it wouldn't be an issue. It wouldn't be an issue at all. Everything that I handle, business work with my brother and I, that's my brother and I. Anything within the relationship, that's with whatever woman I'm with.
Got it. So what do you guys think is a more dangerous relationship?
I would
mixing business with your wife or business with a family member? What has the more this is your brother, this is your boyfriend, this is your wife. What can get uglier?
I think the business.
I would say your wife.
And I'd say him.
Oh, really?
I would say your wife.
Because who's older? Who's older?
I'm older.
So, because his younger brother remembers what they did when wrestling when they were 5 years old, 8 years old, right?
Okay.
And so, for example, I'm Filipino, right? Big family.
Yeah.
Not one family member is in business with me.
Yeah.
Because we take things so sensitive with each other. But my wife, and she met me at a different time of my life. She met me with kids, divorce, lives beat me up, but I got my head on straight, hopefully, and she can invest in a guy like me. And so it's a lot easier that way. Family, not so much.
Got it. But you disagree.
I disagree. I would say wife because a relationship and business, they're too different. They're, in my opinion, they're a bit different. And the way you talk to your wife, you wouldn't talk to, you know, a business partner in that sense of the way. And the thing is, like I said before, you as a man, you're innately, you're gonna lead. So whatever you do, whatever you are, your wife sees that that's a leader. That is a leader. So when she decides to, all right, cool, I'm gonna be that business. I need to tell him something because this is my business partner. And you're like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
You're my wife.
Yeah, that's right.
You're my wife.
Before, yeah.
And that's an issue.
Yeah.
Because now at that point, she's looking at you like, well, you know, I'm wife, I'm business, I'm talking business. And when I talk business, you get like this. Yeah. So I would say it's more shaky, it's more rocky.
My counter argument is this: at least a husband and wife, they're intertwined. Yes. Right? Brothers, they're not intertwined. He gets married. Who knows what's going to happen in the business now? Because now he's got to listen to his wife. He's got to listen to his wife. Kids. So there might be a detract because they're not intertwined. So it's much.
You want to weigh in on this, Yuri?
Can you ask the question one more time? I want to make sure I'm understanding it right.
I said, what is more of a dangerous situation, going into business with family or going into business with your significant other?
Definitely, I think with a significant other, because I guess family, bad or good, it's your family, right? Yeah, of course, you cannot talk to them. But I do think that it's easier to get into business with significant other than with family, because family, unfortunately, doesn't know you as well as, at least in my family, doesn't know you as well as your significant other does. Because, again, everybody's spread, everybody's working, nobody's actually caring in a sense of what is it that you like. So I think it's harder to go separate ways with wife, and it's easier to actually work together with significant other.
Yeah, go ahead.
Very good point. I want to ask Natalia because she's in business with her family.
Well, her family's in the business.
In the business.
Yeah.
She's in business with her parents. I'm about to have my daughters in business with me now because one of them just
Really?
got licensed.
She just got promoted.
Well, yeah, I know. Stop it. So Melanie just got licensed and she just got promoted to director. So the hardest thing for me, I can't treat my daughter like a associate. I don't hold her accountable. It's like, you're my baby. You're 8 years old to me.
Yeah.
Even though she's 21. So what's it like?
I think I witnessed 2 couples in business, and then I was the family member in business. So for me, I feel like it's harder to be like in business with your family because I feel like family problems can like overpower what's really going on. But at the end of the day, you have 2 parents that know the same goal and what sacrifices that need to be done for it. So even like if you have all of your family members in business, no matter what argument's going on, again, the parents, they're intertwined. So the goal is bigger than whatever issue is going on. So like I've had times in the office, sorry, Mom, where like maybe we're like not talking to each other. All of our offices were separated, but I'm not talking to my mom, my sisters, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, my mom and my dad were communicating because no matter what issues were going on at home, work had to be done. Money had to be brought home. So I feel like, in my opinion, it's harder to be in business with family than your spouse because if your spouse is a good spouse, you guys have the same goal. And it doesn't matter what comes in the way of the goal. Comes in the way because the goal has to get done.
Got it.
So that's...
I would say... what's important is the dynamic that you have with that family member.
Sure.
My brother's an adult. I'm an adult. We're both men. And the way we come across each other, the way we communicate each other is as men. When he needs something done, I'm more reluctant on doing it because I'm not trying to disappoint the brand, myself, let alone, I do tie that family in. I'm not trying to disappoint my brother. I'm not trying to have him think that,
But isn't it also a mindset thing? Because I met your brother.
Yeah.
You guys are very aligned. Same mindset.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's differences. But if you get into business with family, you might have completely different mindsets.
Right.
Like your mom
and
might have a
everybody's
totally
in different places.
mindset.
One's 15, one's 18, one's married, one's not. Like everybody's
That's
also
true.
going through different steps in their life that you're going in business.
2
to.
things, and then I want to get. I'm going to come back to Matt for a second. By the way, if you guys would, Natalia, I want to ask this to the audience, VT Money audience out there, Soscast audience. Who would you rather be in business with? Family or significant other? So write in the comments, family or husband, wife, whatever, cousin, brother. But you get it. You see if you see more family or relationship. See what's out there. By the way, at the end of the episode, in about a half hour, we're going to be taking your questions. Super chat. Natalia's monitoring that. If you have any comments or anything, Natalia, don't be shy. Throw it out there. So super chat, comments, throw it out there. And in the comments, right now, family or significant other relationship. Matt, I want to get back to this, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. Natalia, pull up link. Okay, not only are you managing your relationship with your wife, half the company, I feel, are couples. Yeah. Maybe less, maybe more, I don't know. But there's a lot of couples in PHP Insurance Agency. A lot.
Yeah.
And I think PBD was very intentional with that. He doesn't want young single men out there selling insurance, or even young single women. Yeah. So speak to that a little bit. What's it like? Because not only are you in the business doing that with your wife, you're managing or directing, marketing, all that to couples. What have you seen, good, bad, and ugly with that? What works? What doesn't work?
A major distraction is taken off the plate when building a business, which is the dating life. The person that you go home to, is that distraction is gone, because it's not like you're dealing, when you're leaving the office, you're not trying to find a dating life, or you don't have to worry about unnecessary extracurricular activities. You go home to your husband, you go home to your wife. So there's a lot of stability when it comes to that. The most unpredictable type of personality that's inside our business unit would be the young single ones. And by the way, I was there because I was 23, 24 years old when I first started. So I'm speaking to me. So just because I'm married, it doesn't mean I'm any better about the situation. But I've been, wondering what goes on in the office. Also, if you're young and single and you're at the office and you're around people making money, guess what tends to attract a lot of hot young people too as well. So next you know, you don't look at the office as an office. You look at the office as a hookup central.
Grounds, yeah.
Exactly. And by the way, that's one of our kind of our code of conduct when you come to office. This is not a meat market. If you find somebody here at the office and they're attractive, make sure you find them on the leaders bulletin. Otherwise, they're a chump. Right? I don't care about six pack. I care about no offense here. I don't care about no six pack. I care about six figures.
All right.
Right? So, can he or she provide? Can they pull their weight? If not, I don't care how they look on Instagram. I don't care how they look on social media. They're going to be a drag to you, because, in my opinion, you guys help me chime in on this one, but I believe in a totality of a relationship. Sex is about maybe 10%, 15% of the relationship. I think there's a lot more of intimacy with Sheena and I than there is sex. But when there is sex, it's explosive. It's the best sex. But when it's just in a relationship, just for sex, just to have sex, just get laid, you got paid, it's kind of like, it's superficial. But I think I think 80%, 90%, well, all the millionaires in PHP all married. Palau married, now having a kid, but for the most time he was single. All the $500,000 income earners, 750, only one person single. He's right here, John Mason, your brother in the club.
My boy, yeah, exactly.
Right. But
MOT.
He's probably the only one out of our 30, 40, 50 people making $500,000.
So is that part of the culture, or is that just kind of come with the territory that couples tend to be more successful together in that business?
And I also see it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
I also see it on cash flow, because I look at the cash flow reports. I see couples, boom, 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 steady cash flow. Single people, up, down, up, down.
Do you have any brother, sister, brother stuff like going on? Because it's not.
We do.
It's
Del Toros.
Okay, exactly.
Del Toros.
Hector and Erica,
Vargases. Masons. But then that's my dynamic too, because Dean and John, they have their, Dean's got Fernanda, John's, he's dating, so there's kind of like, you got to worry about the personal life and then come together in the business.
So you wouldn't say it's not part of the culture?
It's not in terms of it. Of course, it's accepted, but
because in a sense, if you get a new employee and they're looking around, they're seeing that, all right, cool, everybody's coupled up and whatnot. And it's like, oh, I can see that everybody's coupled up and everybody works here. So in a sense, they would have that pressure, like, all right, cool, I might need to find somebody.
They might feel that pressure, correct?
And when they get with somebody, and another new employee comes in and get with somebody, now it starts becoming culture. What did you say?
It
starts becoming a consistent habit on.
We caution it, because you don't want to marry somebody just for business purposes, right?
Of course,
you got to marry them because you want to spend the rest of your life with them. And business and career is only such a small portion of that, but I wouldn't say it's culture. It's definitely an obvious factoid within inside a company.
Right.
But if you're single, I mean, Pelayo was single for what, 13, 14 years.
But it could be also great that you guys are great examples of what it means to be into a relationship, and people want that and they crave it, and that's what happens.
Yeah, every time I go to a PHP event, I'm like, I gotta get married, bro. This is insane. All the guys making $1 million. I gotta find a wife like that. But except, unfortunately, I'm in South Beach and I'm just dealing with the baddies who aren't exactly the baddies in the business side of things. But let's shift gears a little bit. If Natalia, would you pull this up? But we're all familiar with what just happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. We know about this. We just went from the business culture to pop culture now. But this is more than just the Johnny Depp thing. This has to do with our high value men at risk. So there's a world of allegations right now. So the whole believe all women, believe not women. Believe all women. Okay. Well, we didn't. That's not it. Just pull up the Johnny Depp thing. Clearly, the jury and the judge did not believe Amber Heard. All right. I'm not sure if you've heard about what happened with Elon Musk, but the second that he came out with the fact that he's buying Twitter, boom. Media came out. Yeah. Elon Musk paid a flight attendant $250,000 to
timing, huh?
give him an HJ or something.
To the moon.
I don't know.
My dude's trying to get to the moon.
So Johnny Depp seems to be a false accusation of domestic violence. Elon Musk seems to be false accusations of sexual misconduct. Then we talked about LeBron James becoming a millionaire. He's been allegedly having affairs. Nothing's been proven. And now the latest crazy thing out there's a WNBA player, have you heard this? Who's ranting and raving, it's clearly insane, that LeBron James has been sex trafficking her, right? Like he stole my money. If you Google LeBron James WNBA sex traffic, it'll come up. She's going insane. Clearly she's got some major issues. But I mean, even Trump, love him or hate him, he dealt with a lot of allegations. High profile, here he goes. LeBron James stole all my money and trafficked me. Former WNBA All-Star Cappie Poindexter outrageously blames the Lakers MVP for reportedly her going missing for 2 years. And if you scroll down, I'm sure there's some her ranting somewhere. Here, play this a little bit. Hit the volume. All right, anyway, she's just ranting and raving. I don't even know if we can play that. Don't play it. Okay. I don't want anything to get canceled. But she's fucking LeBron. He stole my money. He sex trafficked me. Insane allegations. I don't think anybody believes that LeBron is doing that. I don't think most people don't think, why is Elon, what's he doing? I don't believe that.
Yeah.
According to the judge and jury, Johnny Depp didn't domestic abuse Amber Heard. So how do you feel about the current state of the media and men being guilty until proven innocent, apparently? Are women becoming more believable, less believable with the believe all women? Current state of the marketplace right now. Who has strong feelings on this? Go ahead, Derek.
I would say that we live in a time where once we start reaching a high pinnacle, once we start reaching the LeBron James, Elon, and whatnot, things would definitely come out the woodworks out of nowhere. Fake news, anything that's not true and whatnot. And in that same culture, it's easier to demonize those men, and it's easier to bring down those men. It's easier to hold them guilty immediately than actually going through the whole trial like what they did with Johnny.
So much easier, just cancel. That's it. He's done. It's easier to sorry, cancel. Buddy, you're not the Jack Sparrow anymore. No more Pirates of the Caribbean for you, buddy. You're done.
So, I believe that this is the state that our culture is in right now, and it's ridiculous. It's uncalled for. Anybody want to try?
Men have always been under attack.
Yeah.
I go into family court fighting for my kids, and I have custody of my kids, but they keep switching the judges. So I go into a family court, just to make sure, things are based on our responsibilities. And the judge automatically thinks that the wife or the woman or the children have the kids. I had the kids. All my kids, I've had residential custody of my kids, all until they're adults. I raised kids, never asked for any child. But I remember one time a Latina judge, she looked at me and says, "You have custody of kids? Your ex is now giving you kids?" Yes. how much child support would you like? Because I can have the power to assign you child support. I said, I don't want any child support. 0. I don't want anything. Right? She wants help. I'll ask her for plane tickets for help and go so he can see his mom. But I don't want anything from her. Right? But automatically I'm demonized. As many times I went back, same case, different judge, I'm always assumed that the dad in court is the deadbeat dad, is a deadbeat father, horrible example of a man. And there's been a couple times where I was in court where the kids were assigned to them. And like, hold up, judge. This is not for motion. This is not up for motion today. This is called following the Constitution. You just can't order things around in court if they're not for motion. You just can't dictate who needs to go to where. That needs to be a motion. That needs to be argued. You need data and facts, so therefore you can assign kids to it also. Because till now, they're with me. But in that one case, the kids went with the mom.
Sounds like you've been to court so many times.
Yeah.
You're a freaking lawyer at this point.
I know.
Sorry, judge. There's a
Exactly.
motion to dismiss, and according to the Constitution, okay. But you're saying that men get demonized and vilified in court, even. I mean, I think what 80% of women initiate a divorce.
We have to protect our women. We got to protect the wives. And by the way, as a father too, I'm biased too as well, because some knucklehead might do something to my daughter. I immediately want to attack that dude without realizing, hey, the women in my family potentially could be foul.
This is why when I ask you who has it tougher, men or women, you're like, men, because you've been inside of a courtroom on like that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Jory, are men under attack these days? Are high value men more under attack these days?
Well, one, that's the thing. These people are not high value people, and we are
Who's not?
once again. Well, these people that we're seeing.
Johnny Depp, LeBron James, Elon Musk. That's as high value as it gets.
I mean,
Girls, stop playing. They have value.
What is the value?
Stop it.
What?
Good looking,
Those
attractive,
are men
successful
that will
leaders.
that will lead you in the direction where
Trust
they
me,
can
I
get
do
you to
not
say
want
shut up and
anybody
listen.
to lead me
Okay.
with a person who has 3-4 different baby mamas. That person is confused. They do not.
But
They're not
maybe
gonna
they
lead
had
me
3-4 baby
what
mamas
they're
because
doing.
of where their time.
You're right.
The time when they were doing that
This.
weren't they
What
weren't
I'm
ready.
not
How's
gonna
trash
allow-
value, man?
What I'm not gonna allow is for my child to be ruined. Why? Because I'm fucking up on the choice that I'm picking up a man. No, and this is what we're doing. Females are picking this man only because of money.
Right. Which is
These
not.
people are not high value only because they have money.
Correct.
This is what I want you guys to understand.
Correct.
Just because you have money, that does not make you high
What
value.
makes a
guy.
high value man in your
Well,
opinion?
in my opinion, I told you the way you have raised your family. What type of product have you brought into this world? What is your child doing?
But there's no evidence that LeBron's not a good father. All his kids are doing great. Johnny Depp, the first thing he talked about when he
Let
gave
me
his
tell you what
response,
type of
hold on, hear me
fathers-
out. He said, I care about my children. I mean, Elon Musk has kids, they're alien names, whatever, but he seems to be a father,
course.
good father. So just because they're rich and successful doesn't mean they're not good fathers.
No, not at all. It does not mean they're good fathers, but they fucked up their children to begin with. Because if they took
fucked up their children
accountability,
to begin with.
yes, if they were accountable of what they were doing, they wouldn't just choose this woman who is ruining them. They would be choosing women who is going to respect their children. So if you did not respect your children, no, somebody else is not going to respect your children.
But back to the original question is, these are allegations from other outside women.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually true. Because
Okay,
these
so-
people have money, they can do anything they want. So I'm not saying these are crazy allegations. I'm just saying I don't believe anything that's going on in this world. Everything you hear, it's something to keep me distracted. And no, I'm not going to pay attention. I'm not going to listen to this high value men because they are not high value. They're actually this, especially LeBron James. What is he doing for the black communities? I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this because, he's building schools, he's doing this and he's doing that. But he's actually separating the black community, fighting between one another. So this is deeper.
How
and
is he
this is the
separating the
conversation.
black community?
Well, this is a conversation for what shall be called the conspiracy theory for later on. And again,
No,
it's
go
not
ahead.
for,
I mean,
for
you
today.
brought it up, so I'm curious.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Just because you are having money and have the huge following doesn't mean you're actually high value. You are just here to distract the population from actually what is going on.
And he's distracting the black community from what's going on?
I don't think he's distracting his community at all. I think he is distracting his children, that his children are going to be the community that they're being raised in. Like, same thing I could say with Dwayne Wade, like with his children. Messed up, confused. These people are not high-value men. They are confused, trying to trick you into thinking that they're high value. Like, that's not a person who I would look up to, and say, oh, that's a high value person, I would say it's a high value person.
What men would you say that you look up to?
My father, that's a very high value person.
Outside of your dad.
Outside of my father, I don't look at
outside of
anybody,
any family.
I truly don't look at anybody else.
There's nobody you can say, all right, that's a high value.
No, because
So how do you
man.
pick a husband?
Your boyfriend's
Just-
not high value to you?
It's high value to me because he has the same qualities as my dad has. And it's a high value person. And to me, that's high value. How you respect other people. Obviously, how much money you make as well. It has a lot to do with how you're going to live your life. But
So is it part of being high value? Because you just said that money.
money is a part of it, but
a
it's
part of
not
it.
what it is.
Right. There's
You know
more
what I mean?
to it, but money does take a part in
When you
calling
have
somebody
money,
high value.
it allows you to be who you are, right? Because you are
Right.
not worried about anything else.
It just
You're
amplifies
allowing
who you are.
So maybe
Correct.
maybe let's use the word successful because there's
Okay.
everyone has different definitions.
That's what I'm
of
saying. It's all interpretation.
That's
So
fine.
it's
high value because believe me, the next story you're gonna definitely tell me that this next person is not high value,
Yeah.
but he is successful. But back to the original question here. Do you believe that LeBron James was sex trafficking in this WNBA? What?
I don't know about that. That's
Okay.
I seriously don't know. I would
That's
have to
fine.
read, but I'm not just gonna ignore it.
Just
That's
quick
all.
answers. Yes or no?
Said
Sex
no.
trafficking.
I would say no. I
Do you
mean,
believe that Elon did something sexually inappropriate on a plane? Yes or no?
I seriously cannot tell you.
Okay. Did
because
you
I
believe
don't
that
know.
Johnny Depp beat his girl?
No, I was
Okay.
with Johnny Depp, but I'm sure he had his own issues
the
too.
original
Like, I don't know.
question was: are successful men or high value men more at risk because they are?
That I agree
so
with.
that's
They
the
are, for
point
sure.
that I'm trying to get at. Now, why are they more at risk?
Because of all these movements, all of these female movements that they were trying to have, because of we want to be equal with our men. We are not equal to our men, so these movements are making our word less reliable.
Why do you say that women are not equal to their men? Go
Because
deeper
they're
on
not.
that.
You're totally different from anything.
I think
Biologically.
I think women are equal, just different. There's
We're not equal. Like,
Equal in
how
what
are we
way?
equal?
I think equal with rights, equal with
Well, that for sure.
opportunity,
Everybody has
equal
that.
with desire, equal with opportunity. I think we're equal with that. Of course, you got to fight for it, but I think there's just a different role that women play, that men play, different in that role.
That's what I mean. It's all equilibrium, but I wouldn't say it's equality. Like
It's not the same same role. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you mean with that. Yeah.
Fair enough. Jory, you're taking a lot of heat today, but you
okay.
are handling your own.
That's
Yeah.
what
Can
I'm
we just
saying.
take a quick 30-second
Yes.
break and just say, hey, everyone dap each other up. Everyone's friends here.
Guys, of course, we're all.
By the
This
way,
is entertainment, by the way.
exactly. During our 30-second pause, if you have not subscribed to Valuetainment, go ahead and hit that subscribe right now.
Do it.
Natalia is managing the comments. We got some super chats that we're going to do out there in a little bit.
Yes. So make sure
Hold
you guys
those,
get your super
screenshot,
chats
do
in.
some stuff. We're going to be answering your questions. Stay tuned in because in about 20 minutes when we wrap up this episode, we're going to be answering your questions.
Yeah, give us some good questions, guys. Like,
Give
we
us
want
some good questions.
Like, tea
the
questions.
best question will get 3 out of Natalia's 10 digits. Then it'll be on to you to find the other.
do that for you
I'm just
guys.
letting you
I'll
know
do
right
that
now.
for you
Everyone else
guys.
here is taken.
She might get the area code.
She might get the area code. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, speaking of successful, allegedly high-value man, are you familiar with this guy, Nick Cannon?
Yeah, we should all be familiar with Nick.
Sure.
You know Nick Cannon.
Drumline,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay, well, half the
other
women in
things.
the world have been impregnated by Nick Cannon at this point. But here's the deal. And it's like, I don't know how I feel about this guy, but I'm sure we're going to come to a conclusion. But Nick Cannon is set to become a father for the 8th time with baby mama number 5, who just so happens to randomly be Johnny Manziel, quarterback Johnny Manziel's ex-wife. Her name is Bree Tiesi. And there's a video on TikTok of her showing off her pregnant dance moves. Can we see that little video?
She's ready to pop.
She's ready to pop. Nick Cannon. Okay, there she goes. Pop, pop. All right, there it is. She's doing her thing. So this is more for the ladies, and then Matt, I'm sure you're gonna have some maybe not so kind words for Nick Cannon. I don't know, but multiple baby mamas, 8 kids, 5 different women. I mean, we can pull up multiple guys like this. A lot of NBA players: Sean Kemp, Derrick Henry, running back. But Nick Cannon, pop culture celebrity. I think one of his wives was Mariah Carey. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
How he pulled that, I don't know. But multiple baby mamas, is that a red flag?
That's definitely a red flag. And poor children. Like, I would not want to be one of his children, that's for sure.
Yeah. Explain why.
I mean, you're distracting your family. A family, it's not being raised correctly, or your children, if they do not have the mother and the father at home. No matter how good you are, no matter how good of a father you are, no matter how good of a mother you are, it's essential that the child is being raised by both parents. And them doing this is they're distracting our children.
Is there any chance that if you met Nick Cannon, he would? There's any chance you would date him?
Definitely not my type.
Definitely
but
not your
especially
type.
not knowing, what he does. This is so. I mean, at least for me.
Are you
this
repulsed by this? This is beyond red flags for you?
is beyond red flags for
Okay.
sure.
Natalia.
He needs to heal a little bit.
Natalia Del Valle, multiple baby mamas. Is that a red flag for you?
It is a red flag.
Okay.
It is a red flag.
What about just one other baby mama?
I mean, I would.
Is that attractive for a guy to have another kid with just one baby mama?
Understandable.
I would
Yes.
prefer them not to have any baby mamas.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's like what I would pick, but I wouldn't like judge them for their past, because I think people, again, like the lack of clarity of a man will lead them to decisions where that they have those outcomes of kids, and it's like, okay, well, did you want the man to kill the kid instead? Would that make you value him more because he didn't have that kid? Like, oh, okay. Or does that affect your decision? Like, so I think I'm understanding, and I think it's, well, for me, I think it's just the father they are to their kids. That really matters to me.
Got it.
That would be more so where I'm at.
Would you
Nick-
have the kids? Sorry to interrupt. Would you have the kids, let's say, raised with a mother or raised with a father best?
That's hard, because when you have kids being raised in different homes, they grow up differently. I'm a blended family. So I witness all of the kids grow up with maybe the same dad, but they all live a different life. All of us. All of us live a different life when you look at it together. Now, do they get the best version of my dad? All of them? Yes. Now, do they receive it the same way maybe I do because I was raised with them? No. So I do think I think that kids should be raised, I don't know. I think it really matters like where the mother is and where the father is at. Because if you have a mother who's like a drug addict, obviously I don't want my kids to be raised by that woman, you know? But if you have a husband, like a dad that's like, I'm going to take care of it, I'm going to do it all, like, I respect that. I'm not going to be like, oh, you got kids. Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, you have to give respect where it's due. So I think it's just a matter of like who's a better parent and like where their clarity is at as a parent.
There's that clarity thing again.
It's a really
Matt, you have some strong feelings about this. By the way, brother, thank you for being completely open and sharing your whole life here. But when you see Nick Cannon over here, and you've been very open, you've got 3 baby mamas.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to go out on a limb, Jarita. I'm just gonna say it. This is a high value man. Okay? Veteran, leader, father, husband, successful. So there are certain things you can pinpoint to high value, but at the same point,
You know why I know he's high value? Because he said he raised all of his 5 children.
Touche,
So
exactly.
To me,
To your point.
that lets me know that what's up. Although he was confused a little bit, at least he took care of his
Yes.
children.
But
now, if he
know?
did that and he didn't have money, would he still be considered high value to you?
He probably, if he took care of it 100%, if he took care of the children, that would be the high value.
But he
because
had no money.
he
Let's
would've
say he
made it
was
happen.
paycheck to paycheck,
He would have
though.
made it happen. A father who truly cares for their children, he would have made it happen.
we all saw the
He would
pursuit of
have, like,
happiness
10
is what you're
jobs.
saying. Matt, go ahead. Your experience. Baby
in my
mama.
eyes, tears in
Women
my
are saying that you got red flags all over you.
yeah.
But Sheena was willing to look past that, and you have a successful, amazing situation going
happens,
on
of
right
course.
now. So weigh in.
And back to the Italian restaurant with the paper placemat.
Yeah.
I threw all my red flags out there.
Yeah.
I was willing to do that at risking knowing that I potentially could lose her. But this right here, in my opinion, this is a mess. Okay. Now people can say, "Oh, you live your life." Of course, but I say with zero judgment. I say with zero judgment. It's a mess because it's a lot of coordination for a man to have to keep up with. And then I'm thinking to myself too, as well. You know, do you, Nick, want your daughters to have a guy like you in their life, where you're one of 5, you're one of 8 women in his life that he has a kid with? I don't know. That's the question I'd have to ask him if he's okay with that. He's got to reconcile with that.
Yeah.
Because as a person has raised children at two different households, I could say this: the kids will naturally default to the standard of the household that has the lowest.
What? Say that again.
So
really good.
the children will default to the parent that has the lower standards. That's
Gotcha.
less.
It's kind of like reversion to the mean. So you're saying that the parent, the household that has the lower standards, that's how the kid will live their life. They're not going to try to raise their standards to the higher parent.
That's
So,
like
for
their
example,
minimum.
as a kid, if the parent doesn't have a curfew, I want to go with that parent. If there's little rules, right? Now, I learned that from them because when we sat down with Kevin Hart, when his mom's strict, but as soon as he went to his dad's house, no rules. He's like, I need to go back to mom. So it was different in regard. So, it's my experience is that the children, because you're capitalistic, socialistic, got to earn everything, things are given to you. That I was annoying to a lot of my kids because I needed to give them what hard was. And they didn't want to feed the hard. They said, "Well, let me just go here and just figure out what's easier."
You can take the easy way
take
out,
the easy
but
way
is
out.
that the best way? Is that the best approach?
Right.
Is what you're saying?
And I think now the kids got older. Now they're in their adults. Like, Papi, now I know why you want us to have hard. That's
Do your
the
kids
hard.
call you Papi?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I love that. It's that Filipino Papi right there. Derek, go ahead.
Well, I would say, with me being somewhat of a history fanatic, throughout history, all kings, sultans.
That is true. That is so true what he's saying.
And men with riches, they've
Yeah.
had multiple wives
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
multiple.
Yes.
It's only
Touche.
it's
So
only-
true.
It's only.
Are you saying that King Nick Cannon? And
He should just get multiple dogs. Like,
No, I'm not-
come on
I'm
now.
not-
You don't
I'm
have to eat.
I'm not agreeing or
Yeah.
disagreeing on this man's lifestyle. However, this man wants to live his lifestyle. However, this man wants to live his lifestyle. It's just that, like I said, throughout history,
Yep.
kings, sultans, emperors, they've had men that have a lot of money.
to this current day in
have
the
a
Middle
lot
East
of
and
money.
Africa.
The reason why this looks foreign to us due to a lot of religious influences, and also the way how society and statistics say it's a lot better for a father and a mother to be in one household to raise a child.
Protect the nuclear family.
Well,
Yeah.
to his point, one of my favorite biblical heroes is King Solomon, the wisest and richest king who ever lived, right?
Yeah.
And he had 600 wives, 400 concubines,
Play on, player.
right? Talk about it. But
Yeah.
he had his proverb said, "Raise your child in the ways of the word, so therefore when they grow, they never depart." Right? That's a proverb. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, what were you going through raising your kids with thousands? Yeah, I had thousands of women. And then I was asking one of your uncles, a Jewish rabbi. I said, "Hey, Rabbi, can I be a King Solomon in my era?" He goes, "That's why you need a rabbi." Right? So it's difficult because you see this in kingdoms, which I think, which is important for a king because he needed to make sure his lineage would move on
Spread far
because of
and wide.
wars and stuff like that. Today we don't have wars. We don't
Yeah.
have, but still. The challenge though is Nick Cannon is probably living out many men's sexual desire.
Yeah.
But there's a market for this. Like, women wake up and they're like, I want to be a baby mama of a celebrity because they know. And I'm not saying I'm that because I'm not that.
But a
there
guy
is a
I
market.
know.
No, but there is a market for
Yes.
women who are like, I just want to be a baby mama of a famous person.
Yeah.
My life is taken care of. They have a good baby daddy. He has money. Like, I don't want to say shallow, but in a way, like a shallow way of just looking at
It's the
raising
easy
a
way
kid.
out.
Like she said, like the value of what they bring, who they are, their morals. That's what also makes up a high value man, in my opinion, as well. Money is only, it gives you resources, but like, what do you do with the money?
No,
bring
it's
up a-
important. No, it's very important because again, we do measure our success, and like
Right.
for example, Elon, which he did not buy Twitter, by the way, he only was part of this 40 billion deal or whatever. What I
didn't
was
buy
trying
Twitter?
to say, well, I don't think going deep into the rabbit hole, he's not really the owner of it. He owns part of it, so he
a
still
share?
cannot make a lot of changes.
I didn't know that.
The deal kind of may be on pause. But anyway, go on with your
but
point.
anyway, what I was trying to say is that the money is the problem, and because we don't have money, we are going to have jobs or do this and do that. So we do not have a clear mind.
When you say
into our
we,
goal.
are you saying women?
Women, male, anybody. I mean, we kind of say how successful somebody is based on how much money they have, right? So anybody is seeking for money. But when you have it, it's easier to be who you are and actually realize the values that you have because you don't have to worry about other stuff. You're worrying about like how much value can I bring
ahead.
into
I mean,
my
I would
family.
say money. It more applies onto men. We would be judged more on money because money is a resource.
100%.
Money is resources, and how I personally believe that there's nothing wrong if.
But why do you get the money? So you can get the girl. You get the money so you can have the females. Like this is why everything works.
But that's part of the
around.
resources.
That's
That's part of the
resources.
resource. That's one
It's
thing that the
resources
money
like
will give you.
how-
But the money gives you a lifestyle.
you,
It gives you
if-
options.
Yeah.
It gives you things
A
to
guy
buy.
does not care as much about money as a female does, right? The guy cares about the money because he's trying to get the females. And unfortunately, nowadays, unless you have money, you're not even being looked at. So that puts you in a not high value man, right? It's all an illusion that we're trying to play. Like we're just playing. Literally, that's
By the
exactly
way,
what's happening.
you are not wrong. I'd live in a
I mean,
cardboard
seriously,
box if it was
that's
acceptable.
what I'm saying.
But I gotta live in a nice apartment in Miami that
So
my
you
friend
can-
calls abajo panty, a penny dropper apartment. So that's just kind of what happens. If I didn't have to impress a girl, I'll take the cheapest cardboard box. I'm good.
It is what it is. It's the truth. But,
But you're not wrong that men want success and resources to
get the female.
women for the most part. Obviously,
If it
some
wasn't
guys
for
want.
women, men would be walking around naked driving trucks.
If it
All
wasn't
good.
for
If
women,
I would hope that would not be.
That's true. Matt, I want to take a second right here. By the way, if we could sum this up, if you could sum up your thoughts on Nick Cannon and his 8 baby mama kids in one word, what would it be? Go ahead, Derek.
I would say. Oh man,
Cringy.
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 Okay, you're going
You
cringy.
going cringy?
Yeah, I
She
saw
went
your
with
face.
cringy.
Your face looked very
He was
cringy.
cringy. I don't know if it's
You think
cringy.
so?
You got a word though?
You think it's cringy? I'm gonna let Matt go.
I said stressful, a mess earlier. Mess,
Yeah.
stressful. By the way, didn't he just sadly had a baby pass away like
Yes.
less than a year
Yes.
ago? You know, so that's another thing. I mean,
Another stressful situation. Yeah, that sucks.
Another stressful situation.
You got a word for us, Derek?
Got enough time?
Free.
Free.
I mean, he has the resources
Yeah.
to manage all of this.
That was my.
And he like what Matt mentioned before, like men we've pondered on this, like having multiple women and having a lineage where it's like I got kids spreading seed far and wide. So in a sense, I look at it as like he's free.
Okay.
He's free. He has the resources. he can do
Natalia,
it.
what word do you have for Nick Cannon?
I would say overwhelming.
Yeah.
That has to be a lot to take care, because you're not only taking care of the kid, you're taking care of the baby mama, the home that they're in, the resources that they have, the lifestyle that, like, I'm sure, I mean, I think that because he lives the life that he does, he feels like he can manage this situation in a way that it will allow his kids to maybe live a better life than maybe your average Joe who did this, if that makes sense.
If the word that was like there, I have like an angel and devil on my shoulder right now, and the angel on my shoulder, the word that comes to mind is trashy. It just seems trashy. The devil is like, play on. Do what you gotta do. But whatever. But you can have multiple girlfriends without having multiple baby mamas. It's a whole nother level of stress and drama.
If one of those women fall out and go against him,
yes, and now he can't see his kids, custody.
and
that
they
can get
they
very
pull like Kardashian
ugly.
on him,
Yes.
and then that's going to take away resources from the other kids, put stress on them.
I want to take a second right now. Well, let's go into this next topic, and then I want to get Matt's opinion, and then we'll wrap up and get some questions. Super chat your questions.
Yeah, guys,
Natalia
let's do some
is monitoring to that.
questions. Let's get some
In
good
other
questions.
celebrity news, this isn't so much breaking news, but I wanted to recircle this and bring it up to the panel. You brought up Kevin Hart earlier, so I said, all right, Kevin Hart had a situation right there where his wife, Aniko, found out about his cheating, and all through an Instagram DM. Is that the link right there for that? So I think she said, how I found out was in a DM. I don't know who it was. They sent me an edited video of Kevin and this other woman. You only get 2 times, was her quote.
2 times.
3 strikes and you're out of here. That's what she said. So as long as he behaves, we're good. So she's giving him the 3 strikes, you're out rule. So the question that I have is like, should certain successful men, I almost said high value, but I don't want you to get triggered, successful men be able to have sex with other women? And if so, sometimes, never, once in a while, how does that work? And then follow up to that is, if he wasn't successful, would he get that 3 strikes you're out, second chance rule? So should successful men, almost sultan-like, Derek, have the opportunity, king-like, to have sex with more than one woman, their wife? Who would like to go first?
Yeah, they should. I mean, they've worked their butt off their whole life to create this stature for them to do what they want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's at the pinnacle of his career, still growing.
But why?
But why?
Why? Just because he has the sex, he should bang everyone?
He should do what he wants, what his heart, whatever is in his heart, what he wants.
No pun intended, Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
Right there.
no pun intended, Kevin Hart.
But
I mean,
once in a while, as much as he wants, I mean, there's got to be some boundaries, no?
I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. I'm not saying if it's right or wrong, but him as an individual.
If you were Kevin Hart, would you walk in and say, baby, I just made $50 million this year. What'd you want? Okay, you got it. All right, what do you need? Got it. By the way, I've been banging these 2 girls over here. We good? I mean, how does that go down?
I mean, I don't.
You're okay with that conversation, though?
I don't think it goes among, like, I personally believe I would think it wouldn't go like that.
How would it go?
I wouldn't go like that.
If you were Kevin Hart, how would it go?
It's more. I believe that if you are going to be doing that, you should be open from the jump. That, hey, I'm Kevin Hart. I make a lot of money, and I'm gonna be banging a lot of chicks. But I love you though. You're my number one. You're my queen? Number one. You're my. But hey, this is. And
Gotcha.
however she takes it is however she takes it. I mean, if she decides to stay with him, if she decides to leave him, then so be it. But other than that, he's doing what, in a sense, like I said, he's doing what he wants.
But as a man, you would have to know, like, your woman would feel disrespected, knowing that, like, you're inside of someone else. You know what I mean? Like, and, like, you're making that choice knowing that, like, nah, she's probably going to feel some type of way if she finds out that I'm doing this. So it's like...
Women want men other women want.
Okay, I understand.
Like,
I understand that. But
true.
does that
true.
make
So
it?
it's like,
well, not everyone. I kind of like dorks, but but does it make it okay that they're doing that?
However they structure the relationship. That's all I can say.
So you say it's like based on the relationship.
If he comes in and he's like, hey, I'm gonna be slaying 10 girls a night, but you can drive my Ferrari, and she's like, I'm cool with that. Then. You know, if they want to structure the relationship that way, they can structure their relationship that way.
Jory, how many women would be cool with that? I know you're saying no. I'm not even asking you, because there's no chance you're down with that. But how many women would be down with that?
Unfortunately, nowadays, a lot of women are okay with that because it goes back to, we always circle back to what we consider high value. If a woman does not have a lot of resources and depends on a lot of men, then of course it would be okay for them to do it. But me personally, I mean, it's personal in each person, right? Like, I don't know. I can't say that, oh my gosh, if I ever get cheated on, like, I'm not, like, I don't know. I would prefer not to. It'd be very nice not to be cheated on because, and then again.
That's the most respectful. I'd prefer that I don't get cheated on. It's very nice.
Because again, it's taken away from my femininity, you know, like it's taken, like my vibe now, it's focusing on different things than just me focusing on being great. So would I forgive? I don't know. To me, I think that's circumstantial. If I have kids, maybe, I hope not. Yeah. But if I don't have kids, I'm definitely not forgiving. Like, I don't care.
Matt, you want to weigh in on this?
If you're going to go out and bang tangos all day long, you want to run game, just don't get married.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point of getting married then? Right? Because what's the purpose of marriage? The purpose of marriage is to create more of your line, your lineage, to raise a family. But if you knock yourself out, Kevin Hart, I'm like $50 million a movie, bro.
Yeah.
Not if that's your value.
As long as you make it open in the beginning. I'm really stressed.
Yeah.
I
Well,
really
Michael
stressed
Black, that comedian, he just did a live little interview with his wife saying like that she knows that he sleeps around, and he was like, yeah, I bang these girls
Who
or
was
whatever.
that?
Michael Black.
Oh, Michael Blackson.
Blackson, yeah.
The blackest dude on the planet.
Yeah, so
He's funny as hell.
he just did an interview, and the wife was like, yeah, I know he does it, but I'm his wife, so I'm okay with. So I think like there are women out there that are okay with it, but I
Are you saying that a wife would be more willing to put up with it rather than a girlfriend because I'm the wife? It's kind of the opposite of what Matt said.
I think it's a matter of what the woman wants from him.
Yeah,
Because if a woman wanted kids and like a husband and like all that, versus like I just want a lifestyle and I want to make sure that I have everything I have and just give the kids what they need. I think it's a matter of like what family you want to raise.
Yeah, and whether that fulfills you or not.
Right.
And so if there's a non-negotiable between she and I. If you cheat once, I cheat once, done. No questions asked.
I
There's
agree.
no 3-strike rule.
You've had that agreement.
Well,
Like,
that's
if
agreement.
I cheat or you cheat, this is over.
That is a non-negotiable.
We have had that.
Straight up. You've had that conversation.
Same with me.
How soon did you have that conversation?
Right away.
Because she's like, I don't play that game. You don't play that game.
The last 10 years, that's the only woman I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's
it.
amazing.
That's it.
And that's a high value man,
Yes.
not having a lot of females. Because again,
There you go.
what
That's
you're
a high
doing-
value
love
man
that.
right there.
Yeah, now, my younger, the 20s and 30s
Yes.
value me. I'm not so sure if you had the right opinion of me though.
Okay.
But because I was lost. I just didn't know what I wanted, and I was hanging around with women that didn't know what they wanted to as well. Because at the end of the day, does a man want a woman? If you have a high body count, do I want a woman with a high body count? Because I have to be able to expect that too of her as well.
Wow.
So I'm like.
Well, we're not understanding what actually sex is, right? We really just think it as is this action and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's the highest frequency there is. It's actually you making, you creating life because potentially that's what you could be doing. So actually men sleeping with a lot of women, what they're doing is they're wasting their energy and they're giving this women all the trauma that they actually have and they carry, vice versa with the females.
There's like a spiritual,
And
scientific context.
No,
to it.
it's
Totally.
very,
It's
very
pretty
deep.
holistic.
So,
Yeah.
This
But
is
there's
a
some
very
truth to
deep
that, yeah.
conversation.
Go ahead,
So-
Derek.
So, if you were just meeting your boyfriend, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you've already had multiple sexual partners, and
Mm-hmm.
your boyfriend's like, I'm a virgin, would you still get with him?
I mean, that's a weird situation. It
If
did
he
not
says
happen to me, so I don't
I'm
know.
a
I can't
virgin,
tell you.
and you've had multiple, you're already experienced in sexual.
This is a Steve
sexual
Carell
acts.
40-year-old virgin vibe going on
And he
right
says, hey, I'm a virgin. Would you still give him a shot?
Again, right now I can say yes, right? Because I don't know. I've never been put in that position. That did not happen for me, so I don't know. Would I say yes? Yes, if I really fulfills me.
Would you really say yeah? Would you agree on that?
Again, if I had the choice.
Why do you ask
if
that
I know-
question, though?
Because
Let me tell you this.
He's horrible in bed. Doesn't know what
Sorry,
he's doing.
sorry to interrupt you. If I knew what I know now, I would be a virgin. I would seriously wait for the only one person that I would be
Right.
with. But again, I got lost, just like everybody else. I thought that these people are, oh my gosh, they're high value. So let's get to these people. No.
Why do you ask that
Distraction.
question?
The reason
Derek?
why I asked that question is because women want, like going back, women want leaders, and a woman would want a man that's somewhat experienced within, having sex.
But this is just because we watch too much porn. That's why we have this vision of how sex should be. Nobody knows how sex should be. It's individual for every single person. You know?
I think women want a man experienced in everything.
Yeah.
Not just sex,
Good
luck.
but like everything.
Well, good
Okay.
luck.
What
I
do
mean,
you mean by that,
ideally, like
Natalia?
in the sense, like career-wise, building relationships,
We're always
running a
growing.
business, morals, value. Like I would want somebody that is like well versed in everything. Like a guy who has good sex, but he can't make money, like that's not attractive. A guy who has good sex and he doesn't have a good relationship with his siblings, I don't find that
The
attractive.
thing is that if you have that connection with him, sex is the last thing that you're thinking about because
Correct.
you've already had sex so many
is.
times
There
before
it
you
is.
even did
Agreed.
the action, right? So literally, if your third eyes are meeting, that's no better orgasms than those. So that's what I'm saying. It's all what we are seeking, how clear you are, how focused you are. And you tend to be more focused, more clear in what you want when you are only focusing on one thing instead of multitasking. And this is a lot of studies that has been done in this as well. We say that multitasking is, it's a positive, but it's actually not. It's taken away from who you and everything that you could be doing.
But back to
Your
Matt's point,
energy.
thank you for that. if you're gonna play around, just don't get married.
Why get married? What's the point?
Gotcha.
Because
So when it's time to settle down, literally, then it's time to get married.
But by the way, I don't say that's right either. I'm not trying to say that that's right either.
Is there a chart that you have on
Yes.
the marriage chart? You have that?
Yes.
By the way, we could cover this. Here's a chart: share of adults 18 to 55, essentially, from adulthood to, before you're older, who are currently married by class. So the highest are the upper middle class, 60%, the working class, 40%, and the poorest people out there, 20% are married. How are you processing this? The wealthier you are, the more reason is to get married. The less money you have, less reason to get married. I saw this chart and I said, there's something here, but that's why I got smart experts on to maybe weigh in on this. You said, don't get married if you're trying to play around. Are poor people just playing around more?
No, you got upper middle people playing around out too. So, but I think when's the last time we had a president of the United States that was single? I think it's Buchanan.
Yeah, Buchanan or Garfield. I don't know. It's been a hot minute.
We've been going a long time.
Yeah.
What president do we trust? What politician do we trust? What personality do we trust that isn't married? I think if you're leading people, and usually people in the upper middle class income range, they're leading people. They're leading churches and nonprofits and corporations, etc. They're leading their community. I think a lot. I don't know. I'm trying to process it myself too as well, but I think a lot of people relate to those more that have single, married, raised family more than somebody that just 50-year-old single person, 60-year-old single person that's out there. Oh, look at the tax. The second thing would be tax system. Tax system incentivizes people to get married, and it affects you when you are upper middle class income. So that, if you, for example, real estate, if you were single and you sold a piece of real estate, your home residence, anything less than $250 is no capital gain. If you're married though, $500,000 now is no capital gain. So there's a
business
decision.
Questionable business ethics. If you give a shout out to Billy Madison, do you see yourself getting married?
No.
Ever?
No.
How old are you, Derek?
I'm 30.
30.
When
When you were 30, did you see yourself getting,
you
having
have
the
kids?
relationship you had with Gina?
Having kids?
Yeah.
If I see myself having kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see myself having kids.
But
See
not
yourself having
married.
kids?
Not married.
Not married.
I tell you, I was thinking that way too as well, until I realized the value of a woman in the household, because it was so tough for me to be a single father with 3 kids, and I didn't have a mothering side. I didn't know how to mother my kids. I think that's why I tell my kids today, I apologize for my sins. I just didn't know how to mother, and you got to deal with that for the rest of your life. And
You didn't know how to mother?
I didn't know how to mother. I just know how to be a father, Marine, entrepreneur, go out there and get at it. There's many times I can remember, brother, where I wish I just listened to my kids more instead of just telling them what to do. I was an asshole. I was an asshole as a single dad at points when it came, push came to shove. And I had to learn from that. And I told myself, let my 30s, my entire 30s, Adam, repaid for mistakes in my 20s. I should be experiencing it today at 38, but because I wasn't getting my values and principles together, that was tough. Because there is a value between having a husband and a wife, mother and a father in a household, raising a child. I mean, look what's going on in society today. How many? Because of single parenthood, it's destroyed the fabric of the American unit, and we have more kids today disrespecting authority, having daddy issues, having mother issues. The mental condition of people today is a result of husband and wife, father and mother, not. And by the way, co-parenting doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't work. Co-parenting does not work in terms of your divorce. Why? Because you're always competing with your freaking ex, right? I do it this way, I'm doing this way. No, it should be based on the kids and how it's best for the kids, not between my house and your house. And again, I'm learning through my mistakes, so please don't judge me. I'm just telling you what I screwed up with.
Dude, I love you, bro. I was going to ask you a formal question. You kind of just answered it, but I wanted to get your advice. Again, a lot of young entrepreneurs out there, mostly men in their 20s, 30s, getting married, certainly starting to have kids. What's the biggest piece of advice you would have to young fathers out there?
No big mistakes for the next 20 years. No DUIs. Don't get thrown in jail. If you're going to sleep with a woman, in your mind, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with her because she's going to get pregnant, and that's what you have to do for at least for the next 18, 20 years. You're 20 years old right now, having sex with her. Have her in all your plans for the next 20 years. Good or bad, she's going to be there if you have a kid with her. And you destroy a child by having sex with the wrong woman. You have a baby with the wrong woman. From an economic standpoint, find a woman that is bought into. I think in today's day and age, I think I got lesson away from, hey baby, I'm gonna be home at 5 o'clock. I'm not that guy. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna chase my dream and do my thing. And if she has an issue with that, then they may not be your wife, because you're gonna have conflict of chasing your dreams, your goals, or your wife. One of them is gonna get in the way.
And the influence on me saying that, young man being in my 30s, on me not getting married, is just I've seen too much guys get destroyed with marriage. And
but you
whatnot.
can't let their experience detect your experience.
I don't have to let their. I could look at the data. I could look at data and see and shows like, wow. I mean, women are being incentivized in when they have divorces. You know what I mean? When they're having custody battles, like women are being incentivized for this, and I've seen many guys in the military.
Yeah.
But
that
that's why
married.
you have to pick a very good woman, right? So it really goes back to you. Who is it that you are going to pick to either have kids with, or because even if you don't get married, you have to really careful with the type of woman that you want to have around, right?
So am I supposed to just pick the good woman and just completely ignore statistics and data?
What does statistic got to do with you, though? You can be the change to the statistics. That got nothing to do with you. You don't live your life how other people are living their life. You live your life how you want to live your life. And if you are, I don't know, you go get it however you want it to be, and this is how your children are going to be raised as well. Like, I can't think here and say, oh my gosh, a lot of people are getting, a lot of shooting schools are happening,
but
and I'm not going to have children.
But
of course I'm going to learn.
You can learn.
Of course.
You can take the data and you can take the data into statistics and say, hey, maybe marriage is something that I shouldn't
marriage
do,
or maybe
sure. Marriage is something that I should be more strategic on, because a lot of times when people get married, they're I'm in love, I'm gonna get married,
emotional,
and this is it, doves and flowers and everything, instead of sitting back and thinking, all right, cool, what happened to my uncle when he got married? How is that going? Dad, how come you've been divorced and whatnot?
But how were they raised? What was their life?
Just asking around. And
But where were they at in life? Because what if you're in a different point where you're successful and you have a good place and you have a good mindset, but maybe your uncle, he lived a life of, tragedy and things were going wrong. So for him, his decisions were based on those things going wrong, and you live a life of maybe those things aren't going wrong.
I would say, because I have a kid. I've had kids since 1995. When I was 22 years old, I had my first kid. Yeah. And I just had a kid at 44 years old. I'll tell you this, there's a much different aspect of raising children, having kids, when things are financially set, you're more in an emotional, mature state. Because now this baby, Jordan, he's got everything in the world. And I have to manage expectations with the older kids. Don't get jealous of him, because he's going to have a lot more going for him than you had when he was his age. But, I met Sheena at 38. I was 30 years old when I met Sheena. It was 10 years ago.
Wow. Nice.
So there's a different version of me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Us, the children, need to teach our grandparents and our fathers and our uncles, because they didn't know any better.
Right.
Like, we're the ones who know. And I honestly feel I'm seeing the difference with my parents as well. How much they're learning and how much they are just now admitting that they're learning. Because before they were just like, the Albanian parents, no, I'm right. No, you're not going to do this because I said so. Like, very not healthy, so.
Let's leave it right there. I feel like we could do a round two here, no problem. We're almost at 2 hours and
have some drinks and a cigar.
Yeah, right?
Next time, by the way, we're gonna need a note to the producers: carpet, table, drinks. Moving forward, we need that right here.
You got it,
Eric. If you hear me, this is what we're gonna need from now on.
Cool.
Anyway, budget on Soscast just went up a little bit. Cocktails, drinks, carpet, rug, table. Our friend Derek needs a cocktail. And Matt needs a cigar.
And I'll bring a Uncle Nearest bottle of whiskey.
Thank you, brother. Can I get an acknowledgement from the producers that they heard that?
Yes.
Yes, I got you.
Oh, okay, there it was. Time for an upgrade. Last couple minutes here. Natalia's got a Soscast, and then we'll get some final words from our amazing panel today. What kind of super chats we got going on?
We've got some super chats. Thank you guys for the super chats. First one we have is by Self-Publish N, 30 days, $9.
That's Darren.
Almost 10, yes. And he said, Sheena Sapala is the #truth. That's
Okay.
the first one.
No question. Just
No question.
Sheena Sapala, the truth. Boom.
I
Much
have,
love, Darren.
And then I have a question by him as well, $5. Matt, what role does your faith play in your fidelity to your wife?
Good question.
100%. 100%. it's not cheating. It's not cheating on my wife. It's cheating on my faith.
Wow.
It's that's the first and foremost most important thing to me. And I wouldn't expect. So my faith is the Christian faith. I wouldn't expect Jesus would cheat on the church. Wouldn't cheat on me. So why should I cheat on my wife? And the benefit of 100% locked onto her. So yeah, major benefit, because at the same time too, I look at Proverbs 31. We're talking about King Solomon, who wrote Proverbs chapter 31, a wife of noble character. It wasn't just hot on the outside, just wasn't boss B. It's a wife of noble character. And when I was reading Proverbs chapter 31 and how it is, and I also asked myself, do I attract that type of person? Am I a man that attracts that type of woman into my life? Because that was a value and principle that I never thought about finding, and I just went, oh, you're hot and da-da-da-da. But 100%, Darren, my faith is 100% based on my fidelity.
And by the way, make sure to put in the links below, the description below, the links to the 7-Figure Squad, where Matt crushes it on money content, but also with money, where money meets religion. Yeah. Money meets relationships here in Soscast. Money, religion over there. Yeah. 7-Figure Squad. What else we got on this super chat?
We've got one by Milton Alvarez. He said, "Do you think marriage is overrated during the time that we live in? What line do we draw between respecting a commitment or doing as you please because you feel entitled to do due to your status?"
Derek, I want you to take that question because you're not very pro-marriage, but you are pro-kids. But what did you learn from Matt? Well, how do you want to answer that question?
By this guy, single, like you, buff, strong, got his own business, got it rocking.
He got time.
Milton. That's
Milton.
That's Milton.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, but that's great.
I would say,
where do you draw the line between respecting a commitment or do as you please based on your status?
everything needs to be upfront. Everything needs to be upfront before you guys decide, hey, we're going to make a commitment to this relationship, to our love, to our marriage or whatnot. I'm personally not going to get married, but I don't oppose marriage. Mm-hmm. I would say that. I'm personally not going to get married, but I don't oppose marriage. I would say take your time. Take your time. I know guys like us, 30, making money, moving up, we're very pressured. Like, yo, when you getting married? Especially what I hear from my mom all the time. Yo, when are you going to settle down?
Take your time, brother.
When are you going to settle down? You know, whatnot.
Where are you from, by? Where's your family from?
Well, we're all from the islands.
Oh, okay.
I'm from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
Gotcha.
Shout out to the Virgin Islands.
Nice.
And I'm underneath the pressure. Like, hey, when are you gonna settle down? Where are you gonna get married? When are you gonna
just
have
tell
kids?
them age 40. Talk to me in 10 years.
And it's more in a sense like, hey, when I'm ready, when I have my mind right, when I have everything right, and I'm sure I want to get married. Because a lot of men, they get married and they're not even sure that they want to get married.
Brother, I agree with you completely.
So
I'm just telling you. But Matt, what he said is actually very right, because I'm 41, you're 30, you're 48, you just turned 21, 26, 24, 25. I saw all my friends getting married in their early 30s, and then whether they were lawyers, doctors, businessmen, entrepreneurs, successful, whatever, they had to struggle their ass off while they were making money to also raise a family. I said, I'm going to go ahead and make that money first.
Boom, right?
I'm going to have a career. I'm going to be successful. And then by the time I have kids, we got millions in the bank.
Yeah.
We're good. So that's what I would recommend for all you young entrepreneurs out there. That's that. We got a couple more?
Yes, this one's from Terrell Xavier. Who loves who more? If Kevin Hart was broke and she was worth hundreds of millions, would she choose Kevin?
I mean, obviously not. Like, if he was broke and she was worth millions, well, I mean, we can talk about the concept of hypergamy. Right. There's no woman that's worth millions or successful that's going to go date the cash register. Hypergamy is a real thing, especially on the ladies' side of things. Yeah. They want to date what? Across or above from what their social status is. Mm-hmm. So the millionaire babe ain't taking Kevin Hart if he's 5'6" and he's got $3 in his pocket. Not happening. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. But maybe he's a good dad and you'd be interested. I don't know.
I agree.
Okay. You got a couple more?
No, we have one more. This one's by Coty Jones. It says, men use surrogate mothers get paid to have babies. 50,000 to 80,000 every surrogacy case is unique and involves many factors that can impact the overall compensation. I'm not really sure the question. Men use surrogate mothers to get paid to have babies. I'm not really sure the question, but he
Okay.
did give $20. So
Go ahead,
thanks,
make
Cody.
some baby. You have you ever thought on that? Surrogate?
No.
Okay.
Because as much as you think you can, because what you're also embedding is the DNA. You're embedding the DNA in a child, and there was one thing Patrick asked me. Challenge our champion. Is addiction in the environment that they're raised in, or is it part of the DNA? So I had family members that have been through AA. You know what they told me? Addiction is actually in DNA. I was like, what? Then they broke it down. The part of the chromosome that creates alcoholics and drug users, and sometimes it skips kids. But that's what you're also asking for in a surrogate mom. There's portion there that you're using, and you're using a woman as a container to birth a child.
Interesting.
But if you have no other way, if you have your wife couldn't have a kid, I get that's
You
probably
gotta
why
go do
you
it.
yeah.
Okay, respect. We good on that, Natalia?
Yes.
Natalia for the win. Okay, guys, wrap up time. Final thoughts. By the way, before we wrap up, if you have not subscribed to Value Tainment Money, hit that subscribe. We appreciate you being here. We love these topics. I'm going to circle back. I'm going to start with the ladies first this time and then go this way around. We asked the question at the beginning of the episode, behind every successful man is a woman. Have your thoughts changed? Have they more reinforced? Thoughts on that statement now? Go ahead.
No, I think it's true, and it starts with your mother. That's the first woman where it starts with, and then of course throughout the whole history of your women.
Okay, respect. Go ahead, Derek.
As of me, a successful man, yes, he would have a woman. He would have a woman, but to credit his woman for his success is a bit absurd in my personal opinion.
Got it.
I mean, she's not there when, like, say if we're talking about the president and he's making big moves, like big moves. Granted, like what Matt was talking about, he may go to his wife and say, like, hey, this is what I got to do and whatnot. But the deciding factor is that man. At the end, the deciding factor on what that man has to make, it's all up to him. And also, to add on to that, when we think of historical figures throughout history, George Washington, Napoleon Bonaparte, and other figures, we're not thinking about their wives or the woman behind them. Let's be real.
You're just keeping it real right now.
Yeah, I'm just keeping it real. We're not thinking
Derek,
about
we
it.
only want you to keep it real.
Yeah, let's
We
keep it
love
real.
Do
that.
not keep it fake.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it.
Okay, cool.
I share this with my kids. Break it down to a math problem. If you are 50% and you meet somebody that's 50%, 50% times 50% is what? 0.25. So you're not even a product. You're not even evolving. However, when 100% meets 100%, then you're 100%, right? And here's the thing too as well. There's a verse out there that says, one can set flight to 1,000, but two can set flight to 10,000. So there's an exponential factor out there when you have the right wife, when you have the right husband, when you have the right power partner. It's been an example in my life. My life started to change around 38 years old when I took the time to get my life right, to figure out what I stood for, to get my finances in order. And then Sheena comes along and shocks the shit out of me. And next thing you know, we take off and not expecting anything. But you got to get right yourself. Start with you.
Awesome, brother. Natalia, you want to give a little final thoughts on your end?
I think that statement is fairly true. I feel like a woman, she may bring out successes in different areas for the man. Maybe like she's not the breadwinner, but maybe she's a successful wife or a mother to the kids. You know, maybe her success or her expertise is in different areas to make that man in a better place for him to go be successful and make better decisions. So I would agree with the statement. I think every behind a man is a successful woman.
All right, cool. Well, I think we've had a very spirited debate today. This is fun. I think like the common theme here is that there's going to be some value. We're going to have fun here.
That was fast.
2 hours goes by. Who's got to pee really bad? I don't know. Sometimes it happens. Natalia's halfway out the door right now. But again, thank you for being a part of the Soscast, where money and relationships meet. This is all going down. Hopefully you got some value and also some tainment from this. Thank you to our guest panel for being here today.
Sure thing.
I will say that all our young hustlers, our entrepreneurs out there, whether you're married, single, what have you, just be a good man. Be a high value man. Be a successful man. Look like Derek. Act like Matt. Maybe throw some jokes like your boy Soz. But before you get married, make sure that you got some ducks in a row.
Yeah.
Matt is a living case example of how life could have been versus how it is now. And life's a lot better with money and a good woman by your side and a good household. So we'll get your muscles right, get your game right, get your money right.
Also, before we end,
Jarita in the middle.
Sorry.
Holy
I have to
shit!
tell people this. Sorry, I have to tell people this, but especially people who are in crypto. Richard Hart, the founder of Hex, is now forking Ethereum, which is super big because all of your coins, all of your ERC20 coins in Ethereum blockchain will get copied for free. So even if you're not a Hexican, even if you do not have Hex, this is super important. And I just want to let everybody in because it's big for what's happening.
Guys, stop everything you're doing. Stop everything you're doing. Divorce your wife, break up with your girlfriend, and make sure that, what's his name?
Well, no,
Richard
Hart.
You gotta follow Richard Hart and get your Hex right. You gotta do it.
You have to. You seriously
forget
have to.
everything we talked about today.
Life. I mean, it changed my life. It changed a lot of people's life. And
respect to you.
Laughing,
but
I'll
tell you what I'll tell you. Before you start investing in crypto and Hex and Ethereum, get your money right and save that money. That's how we'll end it. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.